Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relics, and today I am going to do a unit tier list for Holo Emblem, The Search for Seiso. And this will be based off of, obviously, my run for both my Seiso difficulty and my Yabai difficulty combined. Spoiler alert for the next few seconds. Yes, I lost Yabai, so this is just going to be based off of what I did experience. It is what it is. But it is, that's just how the game is, right? And I did say that either I will leave it up to you guys to tell me, guys, if you want me to keep going with it or not. But yeah, that's what we're at, and therefore I figure now's a good time as ever to do a unit tier list for the game. I really enjoy it, of course, as you guys know. I really love the game, albeit some difficulties throughout the game itself, right? Some challenges, some things I hate, some things I love, obviously. But overall, it's a really fun game. If you guys have not played it thus far, you guys should check it out. If you guys love Fire Emblem, play it. If you guys love Hololive, play it. It's a lot of fun. I think Hatsuru, you did an amazing job with the game overall, and obviously it could be better. And obviously you are still coming out with a new version of it, but from the version I played, it was a lot of fun. In any case, we're here for a unit tier list, not my opinion on the game. So here we go. As you guys can see on the screen, I did organize the characters in order of appearance, specifically by recruitment order. So we start with Ame and finish with Crony as always. And if you guys haven't played the game and don't want to see spoilers, obviously try to avoid this tier list until you finish the game, because there will be spoilers. I will be discussing everything as much as I can. And I will try to go, not in order, but I'll try to do this in a timely manner. I will be honest, I don't even know if I'll finish this tier list in one video. We'll see. There's a lot to talk about. So, let's get started. Let's start off with Ame. As you guys can see, I'm going to throw it up on the screen for you guys as well. I'm going to show you guys the stat page for each of the characters, as well as go over their what they come with, their personal skills, what they learn, their weapon ranks, and what their inventory is like when we get them. So I'm going to throw all that up for you guys so you guys can see. In any case, so starting off with the main character, Amelia Watson. I'm going to always call her Ame for short, because that's just how I am. She comes with 2 leadership stars, so right off the bat, you already get the extra hit, the extra void. Obviously, that's normal, right? Main character, main protagonist. Starting as a level 1 investigator, she is very, plain and simple, right? Nothing too overpowered, nothing too super weak to start off. Especially fighting the dead, the revenants and everything like that is very, very balanced out for the beginning. And I think the very beginning of the game, for at least the first, I would say at least the first 4 chapters, very balanced out and very good start to the game overall. She does come with her investigation skill, which, is very powerful in its own right. If you guys seen the gameplay, you guys know that it increases the attack of her allies adjacent to her. Very strong skill. Without that skill, there's a lot of moments where, honestly, enemies could be too difficult. I think Ame having this skill is very useful. To be honest, I don't think anyone else could utilize it any better than her. She will always be deployed on the map, therefore you only have one person who will always give that attack boost, not like multiple characters. I think it's very balanced in that regard. She has the swap skill as well, which allows her to swap the locations, which also leads to her investigation skill being utilized in multiple ways as well. So it's very useful in that regard. And then she comes with nice thighs, which, obviously if you have other characters with the ideology or culture, it helps them as well. Overall, very strong main unit. I do appreciate that she is her own type of unit, investigator, and then of course when she transforms into detective, still stays the same way. I think the promo bonuses also was really good, but overall I think Ame works well as a infantry unit, even as a promoted unit as well, just getting 1 extra movement, and still very useful, even though, the movement 6 only is still very strong to me. And then of course she learns Resolve, Aether, and Bond. I don't remember what Bond was, to be honest, but having Resolve, having seen how Ame levels up, she obviously doesn't level up the best, unless that's just my bad RNG and I just get the worst Ames possible. But none of my Ames have really been top tier strong, so in my opinion, not the best unit whatsoever, but overall pretty good. Getting Resolve early as one of her first learn skills, it definitely helps her. And then of course she gets Aether very shortly after, only 5 more levels after that, so very powerful. And then of course by that time she'll get her promo bonuses and she'll be very strong. She comes with the Rapier and the combat stim to start. Obviously the Rapier is any beginning unit, lord wise, and any Fire Emblem game starts with a weapon like that. It is a strong weapon in its own right, taking on both armor knights and horseback as well, so it's really strong. It really is a powerful starting weapon. You do want to save it for some occasions, but for the most part, as I've played through multiple times now, just use it up. You don't get another one as far as I can recall until lately, I think. But yeah, just use it up. There's no need to fear about losing the Rapier. It really isn't the best weapon in the game by any means, so it is by far one of those weapons that you should just kind of use. And then if you lose it, right? She does start with East Sword, which is one of the drawbacks, but that's typical for any starting lord as well. Hence the reason why you use Iron Swords, Slim Swords, hell, the Training Sword as well, or the Rapier itself. As the main lord, she will rank up her sword really quickly, and as we know, first class units only reach a maximum of C, so it really doesn't really matter too much that she starts with E, because she's going to max it out real quick. So all in all, Ame is pretty balanced. I wouldn't say she's a really bad character, only just for she starts off good, in the first so many chapters, and then between chapters 5 through I don't know, 13, then she kind of starts to fall off a little bit. But once she promotes to her next class, she definitely comes back hard. And then not to mention she learns Lancebreaker too, and that's a very useful skill. I mean, being a sword unit, now she can just fight lance units as well easily. Makes her very powerful. So overall, I'm gonna put Ame in the above average tier. I think that's a pretty good starting point for us, given her status, as a lord. She's neither great nor bad. I would put her in the great section, but that's only towards the very end of the game, when she's already trained up and she's leveled up. At least from my experience, right? I've only trained her up once, and that was in my Seiso difficulty run. So I really don't know how she would have done in Yabai, but as I've seen, she sucks. So in that regard, I would just say above average from both my Seiso experience and my Yabai experience. But overall, not the worst character by far. Next up, we have Reine. So let me see. So for you guys, I'm throwing it on the screen for you guys to see her stats and everything. But for me, I have to pull it up every time. So Reine, second character we meet. Overall, she's your Jagen character, right? That's what she does, right? She's just there to introduce the game, be a strong unit that she can't die very easily, and help Ame along the way. She comes with nice personality, which is probably, in my opinion, one of the worst skills in the entire game. I don't remember who, but someone has it where if they have nice personality, I think it applies extra stats, but otherwise kind of completely useless skill. Not many characters even utilize it, yet alone want to keep it. So pretty bad skill to have. She also comes with Wind Disciple as well as Reposition, which, by the way, I did write down all of these skills as well, so I should be kind of giving you guys more information about them. But yeah, Wind Disciple giving that extra hit and avoid when she's hit already. On top of her, really high speed, she's very, very dodgy, especially for the early game. That's the Jagen unit for you, right? And then, of course, her con, being 13, allows her to capture most enemies that you may want to try and capture as the weapons, like Iron Lances, Javelins, Iron Swords. You want to try and get those as early as possible. If you can't hold on to them, sell them. It makes, It makes all the difference, especially how expensive weapons and items are in this game. So having Rene be in the beginning the way she is, I think is pretty solid. And then of course, if you guys know the future in the Gaiden chapter, if you guys are able to kill her clone, she gets a huge stat boost that will automatically make her one of your top tier units if you didn't even use her, right? You could have just kept her level 1 probably, and if you killed that Rene and got the boost, automatic, she's usable from that point on. It's crazy. Especially with her rally speed being one of her best skills. That is probably the biggest reason why Rene is very useful, is because of that rally speed. Especially in Yabai, you guys have seen my runs, then you guys know I gotta use that thing to the maximum. I gotta keep her alive. She's like, in Yabai, she has to be hands down one of the most important units once she gets that rally speed. In my opinion, of course. At least until the mid game, that's when she starts to fall off, of course, but that rally speed is just huge. She also has the reposition skill, so like Ame, she has a movement skill that can switch around your characters. I would say the reposition's not as good as the swap, but it does have its uses for sure. But once you get the rally speed, of course you won't be using reposition, you'll be using the rally speed almost every single turn. So not that great. And that is the only skill she learns, by the way. Rally speed is the only skill she learns. Therefore, her skill slots are open for you to basically mold her into what you need her to be. You need her to deal damage, give her a fair skill. You need her to, I don't know, whatever the skills is there. Deal massive damage, you can give her like Luna or something, right? Or something like that. Anything really that can help her out. Like I said, when she gets the stat boost, she becomes really strong. She does start with a fire, vulnerary, and torch. Now, torches, obviously one use. Get rid of it. Sell it. Just drop it. I don't care. Torches in this game kind of seem to be very useless. Might as well just use torch staves, considering that multiple characters can use torch staves, and then of course there are shops that you can buy them from. She also comes with E sword and A magic. The sword training is difficult if you don't have the training sword, but overall she really won't be using weapons too much anyways, because if you give her the explosive magic that she can find inside the village on chapter, what was it, 2? 1, 2. Yeah, chapter 2. Then she can use that and uses her strength instead of her magic, and it's very powerful magic. Not to mention, like I said, if she gets the stat boost later, she won't even need weapons in general. She could just use magic going forward. Not to mention, like I said, rally speed. It's kind of the biggest point. Now that being said, if you really don't have the opportunity to get her stat boost, because either you lost characters along the way that correspond to that Gaiden, or you're just not even going to use her, then the rally speed is kind of the only thing you're going for. Kind of sucks then. If we're not kidding ourselves, her stats are lackluster even for a Jagan. The biggest thing is that speed, and of course her strength being a little bit high for the beginning. Other than that, she does fall off hard, and I do think that kind of draws back on what she can do. So in my opinion, this is the first time we're going to have a niche character. She has a niche, and that's the rally speed. Other than that, she would probably be considered bad unless you get that stat boost. But if that's not part of your priority, or you lost some along the way, there's no way for Rainy to actually be used in the game, and therefore she's either bad or she has a niche. So in this case, she has a niche for that rally speed. Definitely gets you through the early game, if not half the game. Heck, you could even use her in the end game, but that rally speed is very important. Just so you guys know, I didn't even go over the tiers. S tier, obviously you guys know that those are the top tier characters. They should be in your run if you really want to succeed, whether it's Seiso or Yabai. Great tier is, the next best. They most likely will be in your party regardless of circumstances. They'll probably always be in. Above average, as you guys can see, it's just kind of the next, good units. You can have them or you could not have them. It's just, they're just there. Next is the niche or average characters. That's kind of like, you're just good enough, or you have something specific that makes you usable in every circumstance. And then of course bad, and then of course we have the benched and unused characters. So yeah, we'll get to those guys when we get there. Girls, I should say. They're all girls. But yeah. Moving on, we have Fauna. She is the very first character we get outside of Reine. And unlike Mume, we get Fauna from the get-go, right? So Fauna, very, very, very happy that she was an early game character when I first played. Me and my brother, we love Fauna. Man, I love Fauna. We love that. Very strong archer to start. Let's be honest, level 3 archer, these are fantastic stats to start with. Not only is she able to double enemies, but she is also able to kill them either 1 or 2 rounds. Defense is decent as well as an archer. So overall, very strong. She does come with Lily's Pose, which is increased damage by 1 and -3 damage taken by 3 to all adjacent allies. Very strong skill. It's kind of like Ami's, but just in a matter of speaking, it's more defensive, right? In my opinion, this is a very powerful skill to have, making Fauna a very, very useful unit to have on the field at any given time. That -3 damage it changes a lot, right? Let's just say you're getting doubled because someone has a brave weapon or something. That's suddenly 6 less damage that you're taking that probably could have killed you, maybe. Or if something else is killing you with, like, bolting or something, you need that 3 extra damage resistant, right? Boom, your life is saved. Very huge skill to have. She does learn Elbow Room and Duelist Blow as well. Not the best skills ever, but overall she can learn a lot of things that benefit her. She comes with an Iron Bow and Vulnerary to start. Standard archer stuff, right? Especially for tutorial chapters. And she starts with E bows. She also has the option to get the Selection Bow, which negates defense right off the bat. On her chapter, you get her. The other option would be Mume to get her dagger. But in my experience, I don't think the Society dagger is worth it, or sword in this case, just because Mume shouldn't really be your frontline units. So therefore, giving Fauna the Selection Bow so she can do not only close range or far range, but she can do close range as well, and she can kill easily, especially with the amount of speed she gets. I think it's very good. But that's my opinion. Therefore, I will always choose Fauna's Selection Bow over Mume's Society, but that's just my opinion. Now, if you do happen to get a good Mume and make her an assassin, that Society sword is definitely top tier for sure. I mean, either weapon is very strong on its own. They negate defense automatically. Very strong stuff, but from my experience in my Seiso run going all the way through, and most of my Yabai, I just think Fauna's selection is just that much more powerful, and you get it right away. Now, if you happen to forget it, then that kind of sucks, because then all of a sudden, Fauna's just kind of another regular archer. She falls off then. But with the Selection Bow in tow, which you should always have, because you have the time to get it, there's really no reason to not get the bow. I think Fauna is absolutely one of the, not the best characters, but definitely one of the greats as far as what she can do. Not to mention, if you guys get the secret on, what was it, chapter 21? Chapter 22? I forget which chapter it was. The one with the flower patch. Kyrian of the flower patch, what is your wisdom? She gave me Rally Spectrum. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to utilize it, but I did not even realize that, and my goodness, that is a huge skill to have. Not to mention, she can promote to a Master Knight as well if you have the chance to do so. But even as just like a ranger or even a sniper, she should be a very powerful unit. My opinion, make her a ranger. The Kanto Plus in this game is just too powerful. She gets movement. Sure Shot is great, but I don't think she needs it, right? I don't think she needs it, especially with the Selection Bow. You're better off just making her a ranger, get the movement, get the Kanto, and next thing you know, you get the Rally Spectrum. Boom. All of a sudden, she can use Rally Spectrum and move away. It's a win-win, in my opinion. Very strong. And overall, I think her growth rates are really good as well. So she will be one of your greater units, but is she required? Not really. Now, I don't know how that plays into towards the end game where we get the guidance chapters, but overall, I think Fauna turned out to be a very strong character for me. Therefore, I am going to put her in the great tier. I think everyone should use her from the get-go. I don't think there's a reason not to use her. Especially with the supports in the game. EN branch having all of their supports really is no drawback, right? Just have her support with all the EN members. Done. Just massive supports everywhere, massive boost. There's no reason for her not to be in your party. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But that is what I believe. Alright, next up, so we have Mume. As you guys know, she comes on the same chapter as Fauna, but we have to recruit her. Not sure like she's going to die. So, level 1 Thief. For a level 1 Thief, if you guys have played Fire Emblem, this is pretty good. This is pretty average of what your first Thief will look like. Whether if it's like Matthew, or like, I guess even Chad in Binding Blade, or kind of like Kath too. But, you know, overall, the first Thief in your game is usually just right? Their job is to steal items, pick locks, you know, things like that. Mume falls into that category too. After playing multiple playthroughs now, I cannot say that Mume is the best character out there. We do get a few more other Thief characters in the game, so Mume kind of falls off, I won't lie. However, she does have something that makes her pretty good, and that is one of the skills she learns. We'll get to that in a moment though. So Mume comes with the Forager skill and Steel skill. Obviously Steel is standard, all thieves will have it. She comes with the Forager though, which allows her to recover HP, which is very useful. However, towards the end game, it becomes one of the most useless skills because we're always indoors and it only works outdoors. So kind of redundant at that point, especially for a Thief where we want to play her on maps with chests and doors, and therefore that's going to be indoors, making the Forager skill the most useless. However, it is a personal skill, therefore we cannot get rid of it. So unfortunately, she has a redundant skill that kind of falls off towards the end game. Or at least the second half of the game, I should say. She does come with an Iron Sword, a Lockpick, and a Vulnerary, standard Thief weapons, and E in swords. So again, like I said, your standard Thief. However, what she does come with is Indoor March, which allows her to move an extra movement indoors, which is fantastic. Absolutely amazing skill. So even, you know, she as a Thief, she already has extra movement, 6, right? And then she promotes, gets 7. Indoor March, she has 8. Fantastic skill for her to have. Absolutely amazing. But she also learns, which is the most important skill, the Bargain skill. That is basically a silver, she's a walking silver card, and she, you know, decreases cost by 50%. That's absolutely insane. So therefore, if you miss the silver card, which I do not deny, it is hard to get. If you miss it, all of a sudden you got Mume. You can make her a rogue easily, and she all of a sudden can pick locks, open doors, and be your silver card. She could go to the secret shop for you guys as well. That's absolutely crazy. But yeah, as a Thief, I think her best class would be a rogue at this point. Unfortunately, she does fall off as far as raising her stat bars. But that's just my opinion. I did make her an assassin in my Seiso run. She turned out okay, but that's mostly because she had support with Fauna. But as another EN member, you can do multiple supports with her, and I think she'll be manageable, right? Even with the lack of skill and strength overall, and luck, you know, her defenses being low as well, you can make up for it with the supports, and you know, hopefully she turns out alright. But overall, not the best unit to have. There are better Thief units, including like Zeta. Hell, even Okayu actually levels up a little bit better, I think. But overall, as a starting unit, she's fantastic. And especially for a Thief, Thieves get the extra bonus EXP from kills and stuff like that, and just doing damage. So she will level up quite quickly, and there's no reason not to use her in the beginning. She will level up quickly, she can dodge things, and she's very effective in the beginning. But second half of the game, she does start to fall off. So overall, I will because of the bargain skill, like I say, if you miss that silver card, you're missing out a lot. I'm actually going to put her in the niche or average tier. Again, your average thief, right? If you don't have another thief, there you go. She's still there. She can still be very useful, especially as a rogue. And by far, is she no Fire Emblem thief, right? Like Matthew, Chad, even Kath. Those thieves suck, even if you train them. And at least in Mume's case, even if you use her, she can still be viable in some options. So she won't just straight up die, right? She will be useful, she will survive. And I think that's one of the bonuses to her side being an average. But her niche is being that rogue who can pick locks or she can, be a silver card if you need it. That's just my opinion. Moving on to Bei. Bei is an interesting one. Relies on the gambling of her skills. So, as you guys see from her stats, and I do realize that some of my characters are blue, red, or green. If they're green units, I didn't recruit them at the time I got their stat page, therefore you will not see their growth rate colors. But in Bei's case, you guys can. She has bad magic. And let's be honest, Bei's magic is trash. She levels up strength more than she does magic, in my opinion, even though they're the same rating. However, her gimmick is obviously her criticals. All mages getting the focus skill in this game is just so overpowered, making mages some of the most deadliest enemies in the game. Not just for you, but your enemies as well. And you fight a lot of mages. They can be run killers in the early game if you're not too careful. But yeah, overall, Bei is actually quite powerful. I just realized I went out of order. It's actually not supposed to be Bei. That's my bad, guys. But we'll go over Bei anyways. But she comes with chaotic and focus. Again, she automatically gets extra crit from her chaotic skill. She gets extra crit from for the focus skill. She comes with rat magic as her starting inventory, as well as a fire. And that in itself is just absolutely insane. She should pretty much get criticals every single attack, but she doesn't. And she starts with E in Anima as well, so she can't use anything more than just fire. But as soon as you give her a thunder, boom, she can get you more crits with just basic magic instead of having to use her rat magic up so much. Overall, very strong unit if you can get the crits, but if you don't get the crits, kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie, Bei falls off pretty hard in the early game if you don't get those criticals. If she can't finish them off, then it's kind of disappointing, and that leads to a lot of situations where other people will just get the kills, or she may end up getting you in trouble. Especially with the lack of magic, even with a critical, she may not even end up killing some of the units, especially on Yabai. She is definitely a specific style character. However, once you get the killing machine skill that she does learn, she all of a sudden becomes like one of the best units in the game, because she can pretty much get a crit 100% of the time. Her crit rate becomes practically 100 against any enemies throughout the rest of the game, as well as if you are able to give her a few magic rings, all of a sudden she can do the magic damage. No matter who the enemy is, she will get a crit. And as long as one RN is off, chances are you'll probably get the hit rate, even if it is 99, right? You have a chance for 99 miss, but at any 90s, go for it. She will literally blow anybody away, and give her a bolting, even better. Absolutely insane character if trained up and levels up good. But if she doesn't level up good, then, or if you don't give her magic rings, then she kind of falls off and just doesn't do any damage. So therefore, to me at least, I think Bei is a really good character. It's just, again, just like her. Are you willing to risk the gamble on her being a good or a bad unit? And in my opinion, that makes her an above average character. She's neither going to be great, nor is she going to be bad, right? It's a risk. It is a risk. And not to mention, she is frail, so she can die. Even if her speed is high as one of her growth rates, she can die. There's no doubt about that. But it's just a matter of whether or not you're willing to put in the effort. But that's just my opinion. I think Bei, hands down, in my Seiso run, she was absolutely destructive. Like, I needed someone to die, just send her out there to kill. But that's only after she became as strong as she was, right? Otherwise, early game's kind of hard to train her. But again, that's why I'm going to put her in above average. So unless you're willing to put in the time to train her, then she's not that great, right? You can't just throw her into any match and say, or any chapter I should say, and just be like, yeah, I'm satisfied, she will do stuff for me. At least in my experience, I think she needs to be trained up early, and if she's not, then she does fall off and therefore makes things a little bit more difficult for you. But overall, very strong unit if trained up, and like I said, once she gets Killing Machine, then she becomes like an S tier straight up, right? Just straight up. She can kill anything she wants, but until then, she needs to be trained up, and you know, that's just time consuming. And not to mention, with one RN on, in my case, it was not like the best experience for sure. So going backwards now, my apologies on that, we get Miko on chapter 2. Yeah, chapter 2. I forget, it's prologue, chapter 1, chapter 2. Chapter 2, we get Miko, your first healer, and you know, very strong. She comes with Paragon, by the way, or in this case, the elite skill, doubling her EXP, as well as Miracle. Miracle is not very useful when we use it, in my opinion. I think Miracle, to me, is like one of the most useless skills in the game, in any Fire Emblem game, because most of the time, your units won't get hit in 2 shots. Most of the time, it's going to be like over time, right? You're going to be chipped down, and then someone's going to come and finish you off. So Miracle is kind of one of the most useless skills in all of Fire Emblem. Therefore, kind of sucks that she has it. Now, obviously, if you don't use Miko, right, and then you deploy her later on in a later chapter that can one-shot her, then Miracle's useful. But obviously, having Paragon, you're going to use her. There is no reason for you not to use Miko in the early game, because she can level up so fast and become a strong healer. She'll get enough defenses so she won't die in 2 hits. She'll get enough speed so she won't get doubled, you know. And then, of course, if you make her a bishop, she's even more powerful. So in my opinion, there's no reason not to use Miko. She also gets the Cultured skill as well as Devil's Pact. Devil's Pact, not as helpful towards the end of the game, but for some chapters like KFP, yeah, very useful. Yeah, overall, her Cultured skill is very useful as well. She's always next to Ame. She can move twice in a single turn, which is absolutely amazing, especially for a staff user. You can use Sleep, you use Berserk, Silence, Entrap, Hit Plus, etc, etc, etc. It's very useful. That skill is just absolutely powerful. It's not as good as the enemy bishop skills, which allows them to just use a staff and do it again, but still very, very powerful if used correctly. She also comes with a heal and vulnerability to start, and she comes with C staves automatically. That is crazy to me, that she comes with C staves automatically, so she can immediately use any staff for her first class unit right away. Even if you don't use her at any given point in the beginning, you can still just throw her in there, and she uses restores right off the bat. So it's amazing, pretty cool. But yeah, in my opinion, as a starting unit, she's great. She does fall off a little bit as far as stats, though. She ends up being just pretty much your staff user. I wouldn't say she's like the best combat user in any fashion. So overall, she can be good enough to fight, just probably not your main unit. Therefore, I personally think she will be in the above average. I don't think she is the most top tier unit, nor is she like, you know, completely useless by any means, but overall I think she definitely benefits from the Paragon, allowing her to level up quickly and give an advantage compared to the other healers in the game, especially like Luna, for example. Luna doesn't have Paragon, and she's a level 1 troubadour, therefore she kind of falls off, whereas Miko, average stats with, you know, Paragon to keep leveling up. Not to mention, you can make her from a Shrine Maiden to a Bishop, and then you can make her a Battle Sage right off, you know, right after that. Like, without a doubt, she could be your first 3rd tier unit using the Master Proof, which is absolutely insane. And then even then, once you do that, she'll become even stronger after that. So without a doubt, I think Miko can be one of your best units, if not your main staff user. As far as like as far as staves are concerned, I'm saying like using the entrap or using rescues and warps, things like that. Not necessarily to fight and things like that. Of course, any healer can be great, but with the magic growth being as decent as it is, and being 50, I think she definitely benefits from overall being very strong, but not the best unit in the game. Now, as far as staff users, she's not the best. Obviously, we know that, for example, Toa, who we'll get later, could possibly be the best staff user after having experienced what she can do. So that's my opinion, though. But overall, I think Miko fits in the above average section. If not, she could become great. But I think that's above average is a pretty good spot for her. Next up, we also have Suisei, who we also get on Chapter 2 as well, just by visiting the inn there. Again, one of the very few in the game with absolutely high con. Very, very powerful unit, especially for the early game. She can capture pretty much everybody, except for other axe users. That's a risk that you should be willing to take, I think. Some of the killer axes, the sword weavers, things like that, very powerful. If you can get her those weapons in the beginning of the game, she's an absolute monster, and she will literally kill everything. As far as levels go, though, she isn't like top tier. I would say it's just decent enough. In my experience now, having played multiple playthroughs, she can either be good or she can either be bad, depending on how the levels fluctuate, right? Her growth rates aren't exactly high, as you guys can see. They are in the red bars, therefore making it a little bit more difficult to be reliable, especially with the speed being lower. And of course, even the defenses, right? Even luck. She could get crit, she could get killed easily. However, that's where the HP makes up for it, because she will have a lot of HP, especially if you make her a berserker. She'll get the extra crit as well. Chances are you'll probably partner her up with Miko as well, therefore getting the Suiko path after their A support. And as you guys may have saw in my Yabai run, she does learn Axe Faith as one of her final skills, which prevents you from losing durability. All she needs is the Suiko path and a Tomahawk. Boom. 2 weapons, that's it. That's all she needs. Absolutely a beast monster of a unit, and not to mention her other skills as well. She starts with Frenzy, which it's kind of okay. I wouldn't say it's like the best skill ever, but it does give extra damage. She also comes with Mage Slayer. You may consider getting rid of it. I personally don't think she needs it, because if you're going to fight mages, you probably just one-shot them anyways. So you probably won't need the skill in the first place, unless you want her to be that tank and just throw her out in the front lines. Then maybe you might want it, but otherwise you do want to just train her up to a Axe Faith skill and then just go ham with it. But she comes with the Iron Axe and Vulnerary to start with D axes, so right away she can use pretty much any axe you obtain in the beginning of the game, making her literally one of the best units to use in the very beginning, especially with how strong and durable she is. In my opinion, there is no real reason not to use her. Now, unless she levels like absolute crap, right? Which there is a chance she can. I just don't think there is any reason not to use her. Not only will she be one of your best units for dealing damage, but also keeping your units alive as a tank, as well as capturing all the items in the game that you need to capture with. Therefore, it is, in my opinion, that she is an absolutely great unit. She will not be your best unit, but just like Bae, if you need her to kill something, chances are she could probably do it. And then, of course, having the 17 con, that alone is just phenomenal. You need that in the game. Like, I won't lie, you need to capture in this game. If you don't capture in this game, you won't go far. The capture mechanic is an absolutely broken mechanic, but it does help the game itself, and I think without it, the game itself is pretty stale. So, absolutely necessary. Therefore, Suisei is a great unit. She needs to be in your runs pretty much every single time. If she's not, what are you doing? Even if you lose her, like I did, right? Even if you lose her, at least use her for half the game. it is that essential to have her. But that's my opinion. Maybe you guys think differently. But in my opinion, with that 17 con, that makes huge difference. Not to mention 17 con, that wields any axe in the game. So my opinion is very, very, very powerful unit. Next up, we have Polka. She is the traveling circus. She is your convoy, just like Merlinus is in your Binding Blade and Blazing Sword. Now, unlike Merlinus, Polka is literally tanky as heck. Not only is her speed, luck, defense, and resistance growths very high, and HP, so she's pretty much guaranteed to get one of each, if not two, per level, but she already starts with 50 HP. She can literally tank like 5 hits before she dies in the early game. 5 hits? You can throw her out there for the wolves to eat and she will literally survive. Like, that's just absolutely insane. Most of your units in the early game can't even take 2 hits, yet alone 3, and here she can take like 5 or 6 or 7 even. Like, that's just crazy. She comes with the drive skill. What's it called? Oh, she's not even on my main page here. She comes with drive defense, which obviously provides extra defense. She learns drive resistance later on, which is absolutely powerful as well. Obviously, we need the drive resistance in the beginning of the game, not the ending, so it's kind of useless towards the end, but giving 4 and 4 of each to 2-tile adjacent units is absolutely powerful. So making her, I mean, by then, you can throw her on the front line. She probably won't even get hit. So just adding bonuses to your other units that late is absolutely insane. Obviously access to the convoy, Kanto Plus to start, not just regular Kanto, it's Kanto Plus. She can use her rally movement skill and move back. That's crazy. Making her literally, without a doubt, one of the best units in the entire game. Obviously having access to the convoy at any given point in any Fire Emblem game is absolutely broken. You should always have it. I'm not even going to joke. Like, there is literally no reason for you not to have Polka unless you obviously didn't recruit her. Without a doubt, I really don't think anything really needs to be said more on Polka. She needs to be S tier. She needs to be S tier. I mean, not only is she probably the best convoy unit in my opinion in any Fire Emblem I've played, but she is like a tank. She's literally going to soak up all the damage for you just so you can get your units to get in there and attack. And she still provides defenses after that. That's just crazy. And having the rally movement is so busted. Like, so busted. Obviously, there's some circumstances where even the actual movement increase doesn't help. But in most cases, you can't live without it. Especially with the capture mechanic in the game. She makes things so much easier to, save up on those stronger weapons, get the staves from the troubadours or bishops. Like, it's just so useful. So many ways her rally movement can be used, as well as her tankiness to draw in enemies, that you cannot play this game without her. Therefore, S tier. She is by far top 3 most important units in the entire game. My opinion. You cannot play this game without her. So that's just my opinion on how it goes. But the overall consensus, I think, is she is top tier, S tier. Next up, we have Watame. So Watame is our first bard, dancer, singing unit, you can say. And we get her early, right? Chapter 4. Chapter 4? Chapter 3. Chapter 3X. Specifically X, the guiding chapter. You have to get the ticket on chapter 3 in order to go to this chapter to get Polka, Watame, and Nene. Watame is your first one as a bard. Comes with 16 speed automatically, which is very high. She will not be doubled by any enemies probably in the very beginning of the game. Unless you're playing on Yabai, then she has probably a small chance to be doubled by some units. But overall, very, very strong bard to start. She can be a tank for at least a hit, so you don't need a fear of her dying in one shot, which is amazing. Obviously, she comes with the Voice of Peace, Conscientious Objector, and Boon. Boon skill? Oh my god. I don't know how... I don't know about you guys, but that's very strong. It sucks that it doesn't apply to adjacent units, but for herself, if she gets silenced or berserked or something, you know, she can soak up those staves and be cured out of it on the next turn. Very useful for tanking those status staves overall. And then, of course, like I said, she's able to survive most hits. Therefore, she can be on the front lines, no problem. Now, she won't be the best dodger, obviously, and you probably shouldn't put her in the front anyways, but she's very good. She learns the skills Camaraderie and Inspiring Tune as well. She comes with Cloudy Sheep and an Elixir, and then, of course, if you guys play through the entire game and get the other bracelets or rings or whatever they are, you know, they'll just add to her utility as well. She also learns the Rally skill. And in some circumstances, instead of inspiring others to act again, you can use that Rally skill to give them the extra 10% hit, or 10% hit, the extra 7 skill to hit even better. I think in some circumstances it's very useful, and you know, it's just a matter of whether or not you need something now or you need someone to act again. I think Watame is absolutely insanely powerful as far as the beginning goes. Towards the end game, I think her utility is still useful, of course, no doubt about that, especially with other members with like Rally Spectrum. You can have multiple units get multiple buffs, but I think she does fall off as far as usage. Now, of course, Cloudy Sheep and, you know, amongst the other rings, they're very powerful stuff, so there is at no point any time that you really don't need to have Watame on the field. She should always be on the field, in my opinion. At least I think, you know, giving some units 2 actions help. Maybe even helps some units train, or it helps, for example, give Kiara a buff to everybody, right? That Rally Spectrum skill is so overpowered that, you know, you can give it twice in a single turn. Watame is your girl. I mean, absolutely powerful units to have on the field at any given moment. You just need to keep her alive and out of harm's way. But overall, to start off with her stats, I think she's an above average unit, possibly great, but of course, as someone who cannot fight, you gotta protect her. But overall, I think most bards and dancers in any Fire Emblem game, they're kind of just the above average. They're not going to be your best unit, because you don't really technically need them in the game, but they do make your life easier. It's just quality of life, right? You just get another action, or you get buffs to help you defense. She's just kind of there to help you along, and I think that's absolutely amazing. But by no means is she like going to be deployed on every chapter if you don't really need her. And technically, I did lose her in my first run, and so, and I'm watching my brother play as well, and he doesn't use Watame as much. So if he can do it, if I can do it, surely you don't really need her. But overall, she is a pretty good unit to have at any given moment. So that's my opinion on her. Next up, we have Nene, who is a Pegasus trainee to start. And for her, a little difficult. She is an interesting unit because she starts as a Pegasus trainee, which means she could get 9 levels straight up before she transforms into either a Pegasus Knight or what was it, a Magical Girl, right? I did not explore the Magical Girl aspect, so therefore I do not personally know how good she can be. But in my Yabai run, I did make her a Wyvern Knight. Or I made her a Pegasus Knight, and then transformed her into a Wyvern Lord. So overall, she has average growth rates down the entire board. So that makes it both good and bad. Good because that means she's not strong in any particular area, right? She's going to be a very average Lance user. However, that's also bad, because if she doesn't have anything that she's strong in, then she's going to be forever weak against everything. And that's kind of where she fell off for sure. Like in the beginning, once I got her trained up to a strong, like mid-tier, or mid-level Pegasus Knight, she was able to do whatever I needed her to do. But once I made her a Wyvern Lord, she kind of fell off, because at that point, you want your units to be able to be powerhouses or have a niche of some kind, and she doesn't have any of that. Not to mention her personal skill, which is lightweight. You need to only have an inventory of 3, so that's basically a close combat, a range, and a heal. Not the best inventory to have, especially when she can possibly capture some enemies, and or she lacks in strength or magic, therefore you want her to have a strong close-up, but with her lack of con, she does get weighed down, kind of like detrimental. She is a very interesting unit to train up, and that's the other part, you gotta train her up. As a Pegasus trainee, her stats overall are good. Technically speaking, she has great stats to start, without a doubt. That's the stats that any Pegasus in any Fire Emblem game would come with, and that's as a Pegasus Knight. She's a Pegasus trainee, so absolutely fantastic. However, it's training her up to a Pegasus Knight in the first place that is quite difficult, because unlike other Fire Emblem games, Holo Emblem starts off and the units can either double her or do so much damage that she can only fight one guy before she has to run and heal. Even though she's a Pegasus and she has the speed, she doesn't dodge. Let's be completely honest, the enemies are having like 50 hit rates, but they're going to hit you, and therefore making it almost impossible for her to train up in the early game, yet alone the end game, or late game I should say, mid game. So she is quite difficult to use. But if you can train her up at least to a level 1 Pegasus Knight in the first, first few chapters you get her, then she can absolutely be a beast of a unit. Especially with the average growth rate, she'll be able to increase not only speed, she'll be increasing strength, defense, resistance, at least enough that she can survive most enemies. If not, at least her HP will be average as well. She starts off with a Slim Lance, Javelin, and vulnerable with D Lances, so she can use Steel Lances right off the bat, which is fantastic. However, like I said, she does get weighed down by any lances that are heavier than iron, so that alone is kind of hard, especially with her lack of strength. But like I said, if she can level up good, then she could be an absolutely powerhouse. But unless you use her early on, and subsequently you stop using other units early on, then she kind of falls off. So it's a risk and reward type unit. Definitely someone who, if you like Nene, go for it. If you don't really care for Nene, you don't have to use her. Now, you should use her at least until Pegasus Knight, because if you don't get her to a Pegasus Knight, she may have a chance to die in her Gaiden chapter. But that's if you get the Gaiden, of course. Now, that being said, you definitely want her to be used at that point. So, in my opinion, you probably should use Nene in every single run at least a little bit. But overall, she's not the best unit. So I'm going to have her in the niche or average. In this case, she's average. I mean, her growth rates literally scream average. Therefore, she's average. There really isn't anything special going for her. She's just there, right? The best thing about her is she's a flyer. Other than that, I think she's just she's just okay. But by no means is she like going to ever be your top tier unit, unless you get really lucky. But I highly doubt that will be the case. Next up, we have Flare. And so, I personally think, okay, this was just from my experience. If you guys got the support with Noelle, with Flare, you guys will know that I think Flare, hands down, one of the best characters in the game. For a specific reason. Not because she truly is the best character in the game, but because of a specific item, perhaps, a weapon, called a hand cannon, 3 to 15 range ballista, basically mobile ballista, that she gets as a personal weapon when she gets support with Noelle. And obviously they, Hatsuru teased it that they should go together, because they are not only partners when they first are introduced in the game, but as as we can see from their support conversations, they have a really special bond together. Me personally, I don't know Flare, I don't know Noelle, I don't watch them, ever. I'm just being honest. I never watched them. I've never seen them outside of a few, obviously, cameos or something, or collab events. Otherwise, I have no idea about any of them. But for the most part, their relationship together is actually very nice. I love the dialogue, I love the conversation, and I love the sentiment between the two as well. And therefore, Flare getting to transform into a gunner or a general just through their A support. Doesn't even matter what level. I'm assuming it just happens, right? Absolutely amazing. First of all, it was a surprise the first time it happened, but I love that is a thing, that something like that can happen. These transformations do help some of the characters grow. For example, you guys know that if you watch my Seiso run, I had Bay and Iris go together, and then Bay turned from a Sage, a second tier class, into a Nephilim, and she became absolutely powerful, right? Same thing here. Flare, instead of using one of the early Holo Emblems that we get early on, we can save that Holo Emblem for someone else, and Flare can in turn to a general at level 20 archer instead of, the Holo Emblem, which is great because you get the hand cannon early, in which case it's absolutely powerful. It helps you kill enemies from far range. It could save someone's life, as it did in my runs. I'm getting ahead of myself though. Let's backtrack for a second. So Flare comes with the skill Opportunist. That is her only skill that she comes with, and basically it gives increased 4 damage if the foe cannot counterattack, making her a little bit more stronger, more powerful than Fauna as far as early game archers are concerned. Now, looking at her stats, as a level 8 archer, technically Fauna is better. Fauna not only will double the enemies, but she also has a selection bow, so she can also kill. Now, that being said, if either Fauna level's bad or Flare level's good, they're both really good archers, right? Flare's still really good. She has 10 con. I believe Fauna only had 7, right? Or 7 or 8. So there is a huge difference there. Right away, there's a huge difference between the con, because the bows are a little heavy as well. So it's not like Fauna is without her drawbacks, even though I put her as a great unit. Flare, on the other hand, she unfortunately doesn't level as good as far as my experience. I did make her a general every time I used her and Noelle together, and just in general, she doesn't level up good through experience. Now, growth rates and what they actually are different things, right? I guess I'm just getting unlucky in some regard, but no, Fauna, in my opinion, has leveled always much better than Flare has, and therefore Flare is a little bit underwhelming. But with the support of Noelle, she becomes one of my best units. Without it, I won't lie, she's actually kind of boring. Standard archer, right? And really isn't anything else going for her. As far as I know, obviously, like I said, I transformed mine all the way to general for the hand cannon with Noelle's support. However, I watched my brother's run. Obviously he's not streaming or anything, but he lost Noelle, so he had no choice but to use Flare on her own, made her a sniper, and it's not that very impressive. So in my opinion, through my experience and my brother's observation as well, I cannot say Flare is the best unit in any way, fashion, or form, but she has a niche, and if you make her a general with that hand cannon, not only does she get 15 range attack, but she has decent speed. That is probably the best thing about her. She has speed. So yes, becoming a general, she gets the barricade skill, completely useless. I get it. But overall, she does get some crit. She does get extra range as well. She gets 1+1 range, and that is huge, especially when using the Hawk Bow, for example. Whereas Botan gets 100% hit rate all the time. The Hawk Bow in Flare's hand from 1 extra range, longbow range, all of a sudden she could double from range, she'll hit, and she'll pretty much kill. Not to mention she'll probably get crits. So Flare isn't totally useless, she just has a little bit less advantages than what Fauna does. So overall, I would say, in my opinion, of course, Flare would probably be either above average or average. So probably a niche. Like I said, if you make her into a general and get that hand cannon, it's absolutely insanely powerful. That would easily bump her up to above average, but without it, she's a little lackluster. Not to mention she learns Blue Flame and Resolve, both in which technically don't help her. Resolve, really, an archer wouldn't get that low HP in the first place. And then Blue Flame, I consider Blue Flame one of the more least favorite skills in the game. Not many characters have Blue Flame to partner up with other Blue Flame members. And plus, then it only gives a couple extra attack, which is not even that great. I've always thought myself, I'd rather just get rid of it and give her other skills. The bright side is she does come with C bows at level 8, and then she comes with the Killer Bow, Long Bow, Vulnerary, and White Gem. So obviously keep her alive for the White Gem. The Killer Bow and the Long Bow is absolutely insane. She doesn't get weighed down by either. So there's the advantage there in the early game. But like I said, mid-game and then later game, she kind of falls off hard, and therefore she's just there. She's just average. But like I said, the biggest thing for her is getting that hand cannon. So if you guys do play, I'm not saying you have to do the Noelle and Flare pair up. Totally up to you guys. But me, after seeing it firsthand and seeing what it can do, how it can save lives at any given moment, I, for one, will always do the Flare Noelle support. As much as I would like to experiment whether they have supports with other characters, I don't think I could live without that hand cannon. That thing is so good. It's so overpowered. It blew my mind that was even a thing. But yeah. Then we move on to her partner, Noelle. And you guys know that Noelle would be my tank. She is absolutely insane of a character as far as defense is concerned. And then of course she has a few skills as well that go with her to make her even more powerful. Not to mention, she, alongside Suisei, Noelle is one of those characters that have a ton of con. Therefore, she can help you capture enemies. Noelle's biggest thing is she has strength. She gets skill, and she has defense. So even if you fail to capture something, you probably won't die because she is quite defensive. Yes, she will probably get doubled, that's the drawback. But being defensive, she probably won't die in the first place, especially if she becomes a general and gets the barricade skill to go along with it. Noelle does also come with a leadership star, which gives her a slight edge over other knight type units, or tanks in general. So that's really nice to see. She also learns short shield after 10 levels, and then ready stance after 25. Not only does she have Puissance, which is plus 3 damage when the user's strength is higher than the enemy's, but she also comes with Colossus, which triples her strength, which is skill activated, and it's skill one of her higher stats. She's going to get it more than not, and it's insane how much damage she can do with that thing. Honestly, Noelle's got to be hands down one of the best units as far as damage dealing. Personally, regardless of the lack of speed, I love Noelle. I think she's an absolute monster of a tank. I've never truly seen anyone do better. Obviously, for example, you got like Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, where like Gatree's literally got everything: strength, skill, speed, defense, resist. He's got everything. But as far as true tanks to their game, Noelle, I think, takes the cake. I don't think any other unit does it better as far as tanking as well as damage dealing. I think she is absolutely insane. And then of course, if you guys are capable of getting it, get Super Noelle. She turns into that commander form and absolutely unstoppable. If you guys see my Seiso run, I just don't think, as soon as she transforms into a commander, I don't believe she can be killed. Now granted, obviously you could be do something stupid and murder yourself to like magic users or something, but as far as my Noelle was concerned, there was just no way she could die. She was like true MVP at that point, and there's no way you should ever lose that run. Yeah, absolutely amazing. She comes with a mace, which is her personal weapon. Obviously, I've seen now her Hololive portrait for the website as well. She does have a mace. I don't know exactly anything about Noelle, as I mentioned earlier, but she is very knightly appearing. So therefore, having the mace, being a knight, it fits perfectly. I love it. She also comes with the javelin and vulnerary, so that's perfect for her. She also comes with D lances and E axes. So she right away as a regular knight. Now obviously she's not a regular knight. She doesn't even look like a regular knight like Louis does. But as a knight class, to use axes as well, fantastic. That is amazing. She gets her own sprite and everything. So clearly Hatsuru loves Noelle in some fashion because she is unique. And I think that makes her even more powerful than even like Louis, for example. So very, very strong unit. No real bad things to say about her. Like honestly, besides the lack of speed and luck, which luck really doesn't play a part because she probably won't die. Honestly, I have to say straight up, like with the Commander Form 2, she's got to be S tier. That may be biased, maybe. But I think it's true. And then of course you get flare support as well. Makes a huge difference when she gets supports. But if you can make Noelle a commander, my goodness, there's no stopping her. Even as a general, she's still pretty unstoppable as well. Obviously resistance is another issue, but like I said, with the barricade skill, half the damage on the second attack will be minimized, and even though she doesn't have speed, she won't take that much damage, and therefore she'll be able to do everything you need her to. And like I said before, her con being 16, which is like one of the top 5 highest, right, in the entire game on base. Absolutely insane to get some of the captures early off, and you know, that's what you need, right? You need to get all the captures you can get in the beginning of the game, and she's one of those characters that can do it. Absolutely powerful, and I personally think she's S tier. I cannot see her being less than that. Even if you don't get the Noelle support, even if you don't, upgrade her to commander, I think still as a general, she's still going to be unstoppable. And you should always use her. At the very least, if you don't consider her S tier like I do, she is great, and she should be in your lineup every single time. At least that's how I feel about Noelle. Now we move on to the next group of characters, Chapter 5. We first get introduced to Luna and her company of units. Starting off, we'll start with the strongest one, Choco Sensei. She is a succubus in the game, a unique class unit. She comes with the Life Taker skill, which recovers up to 50% of her HP when she gets an elimination. She comes with Slayer, which is fantastic considering she's a demon herself, and regular, not Kanto Plus, but she gets regular Kanto. She also has 15 con, which makes it her perfect for another unit to get captures off early in the game. Not to mention her overall stats, maybe a little under for a second tier unit, but she is okay. Comparably to Reine, who is your Jagan unit, Choco is your next promoted unit, and she is actually much more powerful, and therefore making her a lot more useful, as well as she can fly. She can move 7 spaces. The only thing she's really lacking is skill. That is the only thing that she truly lacks. Even resistance, but resistance isn't too bad considering she has speed and luck. So not only will she negate the double attacks against her, but she also won't get critted very easily as well. Not to mention, again, like I said, her strength and speed are decently, high, so she should be able to kill any enemy she comes into contact with. Now, one of the biggest things I feel like with Choco is she's a second tier unit. Yes, she's good for the beginning, but she does fall off in the mid-game to the end game. I have not discovered her secret. I don't know what her secret is in the academy. I hope it's some kind of either transformation or major stat boost, because if this is her max potential and she hits only mid-20s in most of her stats, that's terrible. Unfortunately, that means she's a really bad unit. Through my experiences in 3 runs now, she is not great. She has her uses, but she is not amazing. She is just average at best, and unfortunately that falls short comparably to the other units that you can have in instead. Like once you get Anya, you can have Anya in. If you trained up Aki, you can have Aki in. Just as a flyer, there's other flyers that are better. as a weapon user. There's other weapon users that are better. You know, there's so many other characters in the game that Choco unfortunately gets overpowered towards the mid game. But as far as the early game is concerned, she's amazing. She does learn Charm, which gives her a little bit more support as far as playing with other units. She comes with the Scythe, Slim Lance, and Elixir with D Lances. So if she came with C Lances at least, then it'd be like, okay, maybe a little bit more viable. But because she can only really use Javelins, you want her using her Scythe to just kill everything. And the Scythe is its own weapon. It doesn't count as Lances. Therefore, she'll never get Lance training, and therefore she will never increase her Lance rank. That's kind of like the double-edged sword there. It's like you don't get to train her with Lances, therefore you can't use Lances. But if you don't use the Lances, she kind of stays weak because the Scythe eventually gets worn out. Like not durability wise, but it gets worse over time because the units are way better, more void, more defense. Unless you get the Steel Scythe, then okay. But if you don't get the Steel Scythe, then you're out of luck. So overall, like I said, I love her early game access. I love her con. I love her capability to rescue and fly and everything like that. But unfortunately, she does fall off hard, and I don't know her secret yet. So therefore, I cannot say in good faith that she's a good unit. Average at best. I cannot say any higher than average. She doesn't have a niche. She's just average. Very borderline to bad, I would say. But she does have her uses, and I don't deny that I will probably use her in the first half of the game every time I play. She just won't be able to keep up. Now, unless I figure out the secret is something very good, then maybe she can be bumped up. But until then, she is going to remain average, and that's at best where I can put her. Next up, we have Aki. I would argue she's probably the next strongest of the group there. She comes very, very high stats in strength, skill, and defense, having 17 strength and 15 defense. That's absolutely insane for a level 8 Wyvern Rider. This is right here is a true Wyvern Knight, if I do say so myself. Obviously, Wyvern Knights are not known for any resistance. That's perfect. No magic, obviously. Speed, kind of lackluster, but as a Wyvern style Knight, that is a perfect amount of speed, I think. If she gets any speed and luck, that's a blessing, but obviously not required because that is her whole gimmick. She is a Wyvern Rider through and through. HP is okay, and con, you would think the con may be a little bit higher. However, being 11, she does get weighed down by some of her lances in the future, therefore make her a little bit less viable. Her rescue is 14, so it's not too bad. Overall, not a bad unit. She also comes with Insight, which gives her a plus 20 hit, I believe. Let me turn my page here. Let me see. Insight, where was that? Yeah, plus 20 hit, so not too bad of a skill to have, especially for a Wyvern Rider. That almost guarantees that if she's able to capture any enemies, right, with her 11 con, she probably will hit pretty much every single time as far as the early game is concerned. So that's good, right? And not to mention she'll be able to deal the damage. As long as she's able to hit first, hard, that's all that matters. And I think that's great. She also gets Kanto and Nice Thighs. The Nice Thighs just so she can move again in the future with other units. Otherwise, Kanto's okay. It's a typical flyer skill. She also learns Death Blow and Fiery Blood. I did not use Aki very well, or yet alone much, so I don't know what the Fiery Blood is. But the Death Blow, it's okay. She also comes with an Iron Lance, Javelin, Balnery, and D in Lances. So, again, first classes can only get maximum of C for Lance ranks, so kind of sucks. Not that you really get too many things, but even if she can equip, for example, a Silver Lance as a Wyvern Rider, that would be absolutely powerful. However, because she can't, she kind of falls short as far as being a powerhouse in the early game. but there is no doubt that she can go and deal a lot of damage if you need her to. So working in pairs with other units, she's absolutely powerful. Partner her up with Ame's ability as well, she becomes an absolute beast. She may be even able to one-shot some enemies if you have the right weapons out too. So I don't deny that Aki is absolutely one of the best units in the early game. But just like Nene, if she doesn't level up good, then she does fall off in the mid to end game. I think that's one of the reasons I stopped using her in my Seiso run, is because without the speed and luck, she's gonna die. There's just no question. And then as a Wyvern Rider who doesn't get resistance, she doesn't get the survival up, and therefore the only thing she'd be good for is tanking physical. However, as a Wyvern Rider, she's susceptible to archer fire, and therefore, even with the defense, it kind of doesn't help. Instead of using Aki as a mobile tank, you might as well use Noelle, Louis, Gura, etc, etc, etc. So, it is, in my opinion, that Aki is good, but not the best unit out there. I didn't use her all the way through the entire game, so I cannot say in good faith that my opinion is directly, the best opinion out there. But as far as my experience with Aki, I will say above average. I won't say average. She has very strong use in the very beginning, and I do think if I kept using her, she could probably be a really good character. Now who knows, maybe even she could even use a master proof. I don't know if she can. I don't really see any way Wyvern Riders, yet alone Wyvern Lords, like if I made my Nene Wyvern Lord, I don't know if she can even use a master proof. If they can't use master proofs to change from the third class flyers to, or second class flyers to a third class, then honestly there's just no point. Now my thought is they probably turn into the Harrier class. The Harriers are a third tier, so are the Master Knights. So if I think about it logically, the Flyers probably do turn into the Harriers, and therefore, yes, technically Aki could be an absolutely powerful unit. She could be as far as great even, but because I didn't use her as much, I'll just leave her at above average. I won't put her in average because I do think she is very powerful, but I think above average is her maximum for now. So moving on to the next character in the group, we have Subaru. Subaru is interesting. She comes with 20 skill right off the bat. Level 5 Cavalier, right? She gets the skills Soul and Kanto. Kanto obviously being a Cavalier. However, personally, I don't know if that Soul is even accurate. It says skill activated. Sometimes you have a 20% chance to activate it every single time. I don't feel like it activates at all. And even when it does activate, I already had 100% HP, so there's no point to the skill. So Subaru is an interesting case. I don't know if it's because she's bugged or I'm just that unlucky. But as a level 5 Cavalier, she's actually quite powerful at the start, right? Her bases are really good, and I can't really say anything bad about her. However, in my experience, she isn't the best unit. And of course, Paladin units in any game don't end up being your best units, right? That's just how it is. They do fall off towards the middle end game. But at least in Subaru's case, as well as Muna's, who we'll explain later, they can become Master Knights because the Paladin class can transform with the Master Proof into the Master Knights. Therefore, if the Master Knights truly do get Rally Spectrum as one of their final skills, that means Subaru and Muna can get Rally Spectrum as well, therefore making Subaru very viable as a unit later on. Not to mention her 14 con is very effective. She's allowed to use lances of any kind from the get-go. It's fantastic. Not to mention she comes with C lances from the start, which is the maximum for her class, as well as a D sword. So overall, from the moment you get Subaru to whenever you make her a Paladin, right? She's absolutely viable, very powerful unit that can be used at any given time. Even down the line, even if you don't use her for a few chapters, that 20 skill alone will allow her to get hits in. Therefore, even if you use a Javelin and you gotta do one chip damage or something, it's still useful. She can still do it. She can get her levels later on, and she could become a good unit. So, even though I didn't use Subaru as much, you know, she's still, I would still think she's a good unit. I did use her in my Seiso run until she died. Right? She died, right? I think she died, yes. And so, you know, up to that point, I thought she did a great job. But like I said, Paladins do suffer from mid-game to end-game in most Fire Emblem games. I think Subaru was no exception to that. And obviously, if she survived, just like if Muna survived, I think they both would have made my end-game teams, as well as up for consideration for the Master Proofs. But unfortunately, I didn't know much about the game back then. I do know more now. So if I truly had to put Subaru somewhere, I'd probably have to put her above average if I had to choose a spot, based on my experience, right? If I had to choose based on my experience, it'd be above average. She does learn drive strength and heavy strikes, both of which can be useful, but overall, you know, she's a pretty average character in the main sense, but because of her high bases and decent growth rates, I think she can become a very strong unit if trained up. If you don't use her, you know, from the very beginning, then I would just say she's average. But overall, just another unit that you can use and be satisfied with throughout the entire game, and I don't think she'll be disappointing, just whether or not she can survive, because again, that resistance is pretty low per the norm against with these regular, you know, weapon type units. But with the help with barrier staves in the game, Lamy Water, or you know, other characters that boost resistance and avoidability, especially in this game compared to other Fire Emblem games, I think she can be very, very viable compared to any other units, and then therefore above average is a pretty good spot for her. I don't see her going any higher or any lower. And then the last unit of this group that we get is Luna. Personally, I don't know anything about Luna. I swear I didn't even know she existed as a Hololive member before playing the game, so I have no idea who she was. And she comes as the princess of, or the queen of Candyland, Candy Kingdom. Level 1 Troubadour, however. She comes with 2 leadership stars, which is fantastic. I won't deny that. Fantastic. 2 leadership stars. And her aid is 18, which is fantastic in that side. But again, look at that con. It's 2. She can barely hold a book in her hands. And then her stats. Unfortunately, for a level 1 Troubadour, yes, great magic and good resistance. But man, that speed and luck is low. Not to mention, you know, she has like no HP. It's like impossible to keep her alive. You have to keep her in the back at all times. Therefore, unlike Miko, who can take a couple hits, Luna can't even take 1 hit. She gets one-shotted even. So that's pretty bad. Hence the reason why she does have Shade. She also comes with Kanto being a horse rider as well. So there are ups and there are downs about Luna. She also learns the Corona skill at 21 levels, as well as Rightful Queen. Rightful Queen really doesn't apply very well to her. She also gets Rally Resistance, which is one of the upsides to using her. So having Rightful Queen honestly doesn't play a part, because she's not really going to utilize it. Therefore, making her a very mixed unit. I would not recommend using her unless you want to use the Candy Staff, which cannot be Hermurned, by the way. It's a legendary weapon that cannot be Hermurned. Therefore, you only have 5 uses, and that's it. After that, it's completely useless, so you need to be wise on how you use it. Not to mention, like I said before, Luna's stats in general, her growth rates are not that great, and therefore it is tough to use her out on the field, because if she can't survive, then she's going to die and she's going to be completely useless. She's going to be more of a detriment to have in compared to the other healers. Not to mention the plethora of mage units that can end up using staves. There really isn't a point to having Luna, even as a Valkyrie, if she's just going to die in 1 shot to 2 shots, because, you know, just not enough speed there. she does come with Candy Staff, Amend, Invulnerary, and D-Stays when you get her. But yeah, to me, it's just, why use her when you have Miko already for a couple chapters earlier, and Miko has Paragon? Unless Luna had Paragon, I would say yes, absolutely, use her. But she does not. It is, in my personal opinion, especially mixed in with that con, it is in my personal opinion that I cannot say that Luna is any good. I did use her in my Seiso run. I was thoroughly disappointed. Not to mention she does get a guide in chapter 2, and she's not good. She's too weak. Unless I got that unlucky. But I don't think I did. I think she's just not a very viable unit. Like I said, the 2 leadership stars is great. The 18 aid is great. But again, she's probably not going to be doing the rescuing in the first place. She's going to do the healing, and it takes forever for her to train up that healing. I'm not going to lie. It takes forever to get her the levels. It takes forever to get her the training, and it just takes too long, right? Miko is literally just the best healer out there as far as someone you want to use right from the get-go. She's got Paragon. She has, she can tank a couple hits before death. Heck, she even has Miracle if you really needed it. Yeah, Miko has just so many upsides. Not to mention overall base stats as well. Miko's just that much better, in my opinion. And therefore, she outclasses Luna, even though Luna has a more movement in general, being on a horse, but that doesn't matter. You can easily get boots to Miko, and she could be viable even more. But obviously, you should give your boots to your bard or dancers. But yeah, in my opinion, Luna's just too lackluster, and therefore she is our first official bad unit on the list. I do apologize to anyone who loves Luna. It's not biased. It's not biased. I swear, I just don't know anything about her, and I think her unit is just a little weak. Now, I will say, maybe a little biased. I'm not the biggest Troubadour fan in Fire Emblem, I will admit that, but I don't think that's playing a part here, because I did use her in my Seiso run. I just don't think she's that great. Now we move on to the next group of units, which is the rescuers of the Candy Kingdom, apparently. Which, story-wise, kind of makes no sense to me, but, we'll start off with the stronger one. Again, the quote-unquote second Jagan unit, your Orsin, incomparably to Sacred Stones, because it's a Sacred Stones ROM hack after all. Roboko. She is a android, obviously, and therefore she is a gunner. So, just like Reine, she has the stats that will give you the edge in the early game, having strength, skill, and speed, as well as the con to boot. However, unlike Reine, she does not have the survivability of any kind. Not only is her speed much lower than Reine's, but her defenses are low, her HP is low, and that just leads to death, in my opinion. Overall, I think Roboko is probably, and this is just based on my experience, right? I unfortunately don't know enough about Roboko as a person. I don't watch her in any fashion, and I don't know any of her personality as well. I don't know what supports could benefit her, yet alone does she even have supports that can even change classes of her or give her skills. I don't know. I didn't use her, so right off the bat, I am already going to put her in the benched / unused. I personally did not plan or have any idea of using her in any time. If I had to say a tier higher than benched, then it would probably be bad, because she is that style of unit, right? She's that second tier unit that comes with Risu and Botan. Botan being the more important of the three as far as the story is concerned. And she's like Orson for Ephraim. She's just there. She's a little bit stronger than the Lord, but just isn't strong enough to go through the whole game. And as a second tier unit, there's just no upside. Her skills too are not that great. One being Presence, which is when initiating battle hit and avoid plus 15, which as a gunner, she's going to have skill. there's no point in having extra hit because she's already going to hit already. And then the second skill is Full Metal Body. This unit is immune to seal skills, which, again, the enemies themselves, they don't have many seals, yet alone weapons that do it. So, again, that's two useless skills for Roboco. Unfortunately, she did not get any love, and I cannot say she's any good. But again, like I said, I didn't use her, so she gets fair treatment. She goes into the benched or unused section because I didn't use her. But if I had to put her in a tier higher, it would just be one tier higher. It'd be bad. But that's just my opinion. So maybe in a future run, I'll use her and find out. But for now, that's where she will go. Next up, we have Botan, the 100% sniper herself. Now, Botan, I've seen her a couple times stream. Again, I don't watch her because I don't watch JP, but her presence, her skill presence, her presence in the game is actually very nice to see. She does play a lot in the story, which is awesome to see. As far as JP members, I do love her her model. I love her appearance. She has a great model per se, and so I love that she's in the game and has a presence in the game with Ame. However, as a unit, she sucks. I'm not gonna lie. Comparably to her fellow archer counterparts in Fauna and Flare, yet alone Roboco, she sucks. Her stats are very bad. Even though her growth rates say she should level up decently, just like most Fire Emblem archers do, even that is pretty bad. I've played, what, I don't know, like 6 times through multiple chapters, 6 runs worth, and every single time my Botan did not level up very well, in my opinion, therefore making her not very useful. That being said, I think she has a niche, and that's her Deadeye skill. Her Deadeye skill, which allows her to double her hit rate automatically, which is absolutely insane because most of the time she will have like 100% hit rate. First of all, double that, she has 200. Level her up, she'll have 300, yet alone 400 maybe. So she's an absolute monster of a sniper. Not to mention the Deadeye skill in this game also has a % chance skill base to inflict sleep, which is absolutely insane. However, it also has a drawback, because if you do get the Deadeye, it does stop the double attack from happening. It puts them to sleep. Now, the benefit is you can either capture the enemies or train up your weaker units, because the Deadeye skill puts them to sleep for 5 turns, which is absolutely insane, considering the sleep staff in this game only does, what, 3 turns. So, wow, Deadeye is much more powerful than a sleep staff? Crazy. She does learn Crit Plus at level 20, as well as Double Lion at 35. She comes with a crossbow, vulnerary, and D and bows, all of which are pretty standard for a level 5 crossbow, or archer in general. And she's not an archer, she's a crossbowman, so there's a difference, but same thing applies. She is an archer, she gets all the archer bonuses, as well as the archer stats. Unless you're using her specifically to hit targets, she's not killing. She's just doing damage, right? She's just a chipper. Unlike Fauna and Flare, who can do much more massive damage, yet alone double, Botan most likely will not be doubling enemies outside of her opening chapter, and therefore making her kind of useless, as far as my experiences are concerned. Now, as a ranger, she does get the extra movement boost, right? I don't know if you want to make her a sniper and get the sure shot, considering you already have the Deadeye skill. So I would think you would want to make her a ranger as well, just so she can get the movement. She can get the Kanto Plus. She can move in, attack, get the 100% hit rate in, right? Do a hit, run away. I think that's perfect for her. Hell, if she could run in, use Deadeye, and then run away, other units can go around that sleeping unit or even capture the sleeping unit. So it makes her very viable in that concern. Not to mention, if you do end up using her quite a bit, you can use her on Iris's chapter and, either beat Gloom or Bloom using longbows. Yet alone, hell, you could even try and use the hawk bows, or you don't even need the hawk bow. You can hit her or those guys with Botan. She doesn't need any bonuses, especially Bloom, right? She came with the Seiso's light, so Bloom her itself has a lot of avoid already. As you guys, if you guys saw my videos, you guys know that I used Flare, right? Because she has the extra range. Not to mention she could use the hawk bow. Botan already has the hit rate, so she can easily hit Bloom automatically. So there's ups, there's downs, but overall I cannot say Botan's a very good unit. But again, we are here to discuss specific unit tiers, and therefore she has a niche, and that is she can get that guaranteed hit at any time. It's just a matter of whether or not she'll be able to do damage enough, or lend a hand with the Deadeye skill. But in my opinion, if she didn't have the Deadeye skill, which doubles her hit rate so she can hit anything in the game, she'd be a bad unit. Unfortunately, she is a typical Fire Emblem archer that just has a one-trick pony. You do damage, that's it. You don't kill, you don't double, you don't really destroy the competition. You're just there to help chip down some enemies from the back, and then that's it. But what I think about Botan is, I think she can be used in every run, just not as a main unit. Definitely as a support. I do think she should be used though. I really do think she should be used, but only as your extra units. Like once you've chosen 15 units or something that you're guaranteed to use every time you do this, then she kind of be in the 16 to 20 unit range that because some chapters you have to have 20 units. She'd be one of those characters that you just kind of throw in at the end, right? But otherwise, other than that, she is kind of not good. But who is good as far as the early game is concerned is the next one up is Risu, the third of the group. Risu, first of all, doesn't even look like herself. Hatsuru, what's up with that? Not only that, but look, even the unit tier list, she still didn't get a portrait update. Like, what the heck? Okay. In all fairness, Risu needs to be edited as soon as possible. She's brown-haired and is a squirrel, so please fix that. No, that's not to say I watch Risu. I don't know anything about her either. But I do know that this isn't Risu. It's kind of funny. That's why when I first played the game, I was like, who the heck is this? Oh, it's Risu, but she's not a squirrel. That's kind of funny. Any case, so Risu, a level 7 scholar at start. Guys, look at these stats. Absolutely ridiculous of a tank. Like, holy crap, 13 defense and resistance. Like, what is that? Like, and she has 11 speed, in which for her will prevent her from being doubled in the early game just enough. She has 12 con as well, so with the shaver that she comes with, absolutely powerful capturing style unit for the early game. She does fall off though in the mid to end game though, I will admit that, but overall in the beginning, absolutely usable. In fact, I think a must use, because she's the only one who comes on the chapter that she starts with that has the capability to survive all attacks and not be killed by a crit. Botan and Roboko have a chance to be killed by crit and therefore game over. Risu is the only one, and if you guys see my runs now, specifically going through Yabai, you guys will know that I used Risu a lot because she's the only one who can survive the hits. So very strong early game presence for Risu. Very happy with her performance. And as a level 7 scholar, mage in essence, 29 HP is really good. She's just tanky as heck. The only thing she's lacking is magic, but I think that could be rectified with levels over time. And then of course she becomes a witch in the long term as well. I don't think you want to make her a summoner, right? I think that was the other option. You definitely want to make her a witch. She can fly then after that, as well as she can use stave so she can fly and heal, or she can fly and use her rally defense skill, which she does learn at level 20, which is absolutely insane. of all units, she's already tanky, and then she's giving defense to other units. She can use Kanto Plus as a witch to fly in, rally defense, and then run back. Absolutely insane. Very powerful. She also gets Tomebreaker at level 30, which is very helpful for her. Her resistance is one of her weaker growth rates, so the fact that she gets Tomebreaker as well means that she won't even have to worry about mage units in the long term. She just needs to worry about her physical defense, which again, like I said, she gets defense already, making her a very defensive tank as far as a mage is concerned for the early game. She comes with Shaver, Flux, and Vulnerary. C in Anima and D in Dark. The magic ranks really don't matter for the early game. You're going to max out both to C before she becomes level 20. So overall, I think Risu is a really good character. Unfortunately, she comes with Vanity and Corrosion. Vanity gives plus 2 damage and plus 10 hit when fighting enemies at 2 range. For the most part, as a mage unit, that's great, right? She's going to probably face other mage units in the early game, giving her a little bit of an edge against them. But over time, that skill becomes absolutely useless, as every enemy is going to be most powerful. And then, of course, the Corrosion skill is probably the most dumbest skill anyone can have in a Fire Emblem game. I don't even know why it's even a skill in the first place. I mean, I really don't know a moment, even in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, I don't know a moment that anyone would want the Corrosion skill to activate, because if anything, you're either going to kill the guy, or you want the item that they're carrying. Therefore, why would you want to corrode their weapon? I don't see any points in any Fire Emblem game in history that the Corrosion skill could ever be useful. So therefore, Risu literally comes with like no skills, and therefore making her a little bit weak. But it also gives you the chance to mold her into the way you want. You can give her some extra skills. You can give her Luna, you can give her Aegis, you can give her Adept, this, that, you know. Whatever skills you obtain, you can actually give to her, and she actually could be a very good unit. But as I've experienced multiple times, as well as watching my brothers play through, she does fall off, unfortunately, and her niche is the rally defense skill. So unfortunately, as a unit, she does fall off, and therefore, at best, I have to put her in the average or niche. She's both. She has average growths, therefore making her an average unit. You know, a good mage, but not great. But she has the biggest niche, and that is her rally defense. Very powerful for at least half the game. But then the second half, you know, everyone else is starting to get stronger as well. Therefore, her rally defense starts to fall off. Not to mention, if you get Kiara, then you probably don't need Risu anymore. But it does stack. The rally skills do stack. So if you do stack them, you know, great. Risu's awesome. Like I said, she does fall off, and therefore make her a little bit more useless compared to other mage units. So next up we have Sora, and she is a interesting unit. She is the only character, I think she's the only character in the game besides Crony who comes with 3 leadership stars. I have to double check that actually. I think maybe Callie might be the other one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Callie's the other one. Yeah, Callie comes with 5 as well. So yeah, outside of those 2 though, Sora is the only one with 3 leadership stars to start, and that is, or not start, but to have, and that is crazy. Now I get Sora is one of the original Hololive members, so obviously more love to Sora. Not only that, but she also has all of her support conversations intact as a JP member, which is fantastic for her. A lot of respect right there. And as you guys can see, she is a level 7 light mage. However, as a level 7 light mage, she's not the best. I'm not gonna lie, she is not the best. Her con is just average. She's lacking in the magic department, considering she uses light magic, which is the weakest of the magics. Her speed growth is great though. That is absolutely fantastic, without a doubt. Being 10 though at base is a little unfortunate. I really wish it was like at least 12 or 13, but it's okay. She has some luck, and she has some resistance, which is fine, but of course that's magic user type stats anyways. So yeah, overall she is not the best at base. I will just be completely honest, she's not. But she does come with Holy Aura and Patience. Holy Aura giving +1 damage, 5 hit, 5 void, and 5 crit when using light magic. So automatically, as her personal skill is great, she automatically does more than not. So makes up for a couple of her stats in general. Then she also has the Patience skill, which when under attack she gets 10 avoid. So even though she's a little bit lackluster, if she does get attacked, there is a chance that she's probably just going to dodge it. At least in Seiso. In Yabai, I won't lie, in Yabai it is going to be difficult to train her. She does start off a little weak, therefore making it difficult to train. And then just in general, she doesn't have the best time, I think, to level up as far as when you get her. Because as soon as you get her, on Yabai difficulty at least, you are thrown into a mosh pit of enemies that are all of a sudden way stronger than they were before, and specifically chapter 9, and therefore you are going to struggle to train her. If you use her after the fact though, then she can level up good, and then she can be a very, very viable staff user, if anything, if not magic user. She can go on the front lines a little bit and do some dodging, but overall you want her in the back as well as a support unit. She's not going to be a main unit. She does come with Shine and Seiso as well as D light magic rank, which is okay. Again, like I said, light magic is the weakest, so it's kind of terrible that her magic is so low in the first place. At level 20, she does get Rally Magic, and 30, she gets Seal Resistance. The Seal Resistance, it only applies after the fact, so kind of a useless skill. Because, like I said, you're going to use her as a support unit, therefore she won't be doing killing. So even if you seal the enemy's resistance after she attacks, the enemy's probably going to be like one shot anyways, and you can probably just kill her off with even Amen, for example. So not really going to be very useful. And then Rally Magic, that helps, considering how many magic users we do get in the game. So that skill in itself could be very useful. I must have accidentally disregarded it because I didn't get it in my Yabai difficulty run. That's kind of funny. Yeah, the 3 leadership stars alone though, that definitely improves her usability as well. That alone is good, right? That's 15 of hit and avoid. That's fantastic. It helps counteract some of the enemy leadership stars, especially in Yabai. So that is probably the biggest reason you would want to use her. Other than that, I don't see too many other options of why you would want to use her, considering her base stats. But like I said, she does have all of her supports, therefore making her a very strong unit. She can get A supports with anybody in the game that she can support with. I don't know what those supports are. I never got her an A, so I actually don't know. But I bet you some of them are pretty good. So if we could find those out, that'd be fantastic. And who knows, maybe she can transform into a different class unit, and that will boost her usability up even more. But you do need her to recruit Azuki in the same chapter too, so there's that. That is a key, part of the game, having an extra dancer in the game. So as far as Sora though is concerned, in my experience, I've only used her once because I didn't get her during my Seiso run. So using her in Yabai, she does struggle a little bit, but she does have her uses. I don't know her max potential though, so don't obviously quote me on this tier list for her positioning, but if I had to put her somewhere, I'll put her in average. I just think there's better units out there. Again, being a light magic user only, it's kind of a detriment. As soon as she becomes a bishop though, she can use staves and do long range healing and everything, which is great. But until then, she's just a support unit. She's just there to help chip, help heal when she becomes a bishop, and that's it. If her supports can give her extra help or even change her class, give her skills or something like that, I don't know. Maybe she can become above average, but for now I think average is a pretty good spot for her. I just don't see her going any higher than that right now, even with the 3 leadership stars. But without a doubt, those 3 leadership stars make a huge difference, because if she didn't have those, honestly, she'd probably be in the bad section, if I'm being honest, okay? But then we move on to her partner in Azuki. Again, my experience with Azuki is very limited. I lost her every single time. Every single time I played this game. So, I did learn though, she can transform classes if you give her a level on the chapter you recruit her. And I believe that is the only time she can transform classes. So, kind of depends. Do you want another dancer to, go alongside Watame as a bard? Or do you want another magic user? In which case she becomes a light mage or a shaman, right? I believe. If I remember correctly. I made her a shaman every time because I would prefer a dark magic user, but now that I think about it, it's probably not the best idea. But yeah, overall, I would say I cannot currently rank Azuki because I never got the chance to use her. She comes with Acrobat and the dancing skill, obviously. But me personally, I don't know anything about her. I didn't get the chance to use her. At level 20, she learns Charm. At level 30, she learns Celebrity. I didn't get to see what those were. So there's no point. The only thing that's good about her is she comes with the Midnight Song, which increases avoidability. If you're able to transfer that away before she dies, then great. Watame can use it and increase people's avoidability. But otherwise, she is very frail. So don't know about that. But yeah, her survivability has always been in question for me. I never used her. So in all good faith, I cannot rank her because I never had the chance to use her. Heck, I don't even know she has all of her support. I don't think she does. But I'm pretty sure she and Sota can support, and they'll probably get something really good, because you need Sota to get Azuki in the first place. Therefore, their support has to be good, just like the Noel and Flare support is really good, right? So, that's my assumption, though. But overall, I cannot rank her. Now, if I were to rank her, in all fairness, right? I look at her stats right now. In all fairness, if I were to rank her, she'd probably be above average, just like Watame. I mean, you cannot go wrong with a dancer / bard / singer or whoever. You really can't. I mean, they are their own class of unit that there is no downside, right? The only downside is they can die easily because they can't fight back. Other than that, they will get the speed, they will get the luck, so they don't get killed, by crits. It's just a matter whether or not you're dumb enough to send them out and get killed, right? But yeah, still, all bard units or dancers in any Fire Emblem game would automatically tier in the above average or higher, just because that's just the style of unit that they are. But in Azuki's case, I cannot rank her because she never survived any of my runs. Therefore, benched / unused because she just kept dying. Therefore, I had never had the chance to see if she even had any good supports either. That's just the unfortunate fact. Unfortunately. Moving on, though. We go to Lammy. Unfortunately for Lammy, even though she has an item named after her, Lammy Water, Lammy is a little lackluster. She's a level 15 cleric when you obtain her, and let's be honest, these stats are not befitting of a level 15 cleric, in my opinion. The magic is too low. I rather have more magic than the other stats because she's a healer. She uses staves. She needs to be able to use long-range staves as a unit if you're going to have her used as a support unit. She comes with drive resistance, increasing your resistance of allies in 2 spaces by 4. She has nice personality, which sucks, and then charisma, which increases. What does it increase again? Increases hit and avoid to all allies within 3 tiles. 3 tiles is a lot, but in the general sense, she's going to be on the front line. Then she's going to probably die. I mean, look at that defense. 2 defense. 10 luck is okay. 14 speed's okay. Chances are she probably won't get doubled too often. But again, like all staff users, the HP, and the survivability is a little bit in question, and therefore, she's never going to increase her defense. It's red. It is not being increased. So, in my opinion, she is not good for survival. And even if you make her like a bishop, her con is just average, and therefore she probably will get raided down by heavier light magic. And then, like I said, her stats overall are just not screaming, top tier. But again, as a healer, that is her job. She actually does a really good job of it. I do think that Lammy can be a good unit, just not in my experience. She also learns Seal Magic at level 21 and gets Power Staff at 30. I believe Power Staff is the one that allows her to use the staff and then move again, right? She also comes with a Mend, the Hermern, Seiso, and Holo Emblem. When you get her, automatically see staves as well. Overall, she's just a kind of throw-in unit. I wouldn't say she's anything special, unfortunately. She does give you the Hermern early on, but honestly, the Hermern isn't even that important in the very beginning. Like, if you're using the Hermern on anything, it's probably just going to be whichever weapon you got for Fauna or Mume, or maybe even Botan's crossbow. But that's probably just iffy, right? Heck, you can't even use a Hermern staff or Kyla's staff on the hand cannon that Flare gets. So, very disappointing time to get the Hermern staff in general. And that makes Lammy a little bit useless, especially when you have, again, like I said, you have Miko there already. And then if you have another mage unit that you did use who is ready to transform sooner than later, they will use staves as well. Like, I usually use Risu until she's level 20. She becomes a witch quite soon after. Or you can even use Luna, who I think, in my opinion, Luna could be better. Not only does she get the candy staff, but Luna's magic and speed growth is much higher, therefore making her chances of survivability a little bit better than Lammy's. Not to mention, like I mentioned before, Luna does get the rally resistance skill. Therefore, she has a reason to be on the front lines as a Valkyrie. Not to mention, she'll get Kanto, so she can move in and then move back. Lammy, she doesn't get that, therefore making her a little bit more lackluster. If I remember correctly, she does become a bishop or a sage, therefore remaining a foot soldier and just remaining a healer for the most part. I don't think she would be better than Miko either. Her stats are just not there. Her survivability is very bad. That's my opinion. Not to mention, like I mentioned many times before, Miko has Paragon. Lammy does not. Therefore, it's going to be a little bit harder to train her comparably. Now, that being said, I did not use Lammy at all. So, therefore, benched. Unfortunately, I didn't use Lammy. In all fairness, I do not know how good she can be, but based on her growth rates, based on her skills, and based on her level, I cannot say she's great. So I personally would probably put her in bad, but in my experience, I didn't use her, therefore, only for the Gaiden chapter. So I had to put her in the unused. But let me know in the comment section if you guys think she's a good character. Maybe in my future runs, I'll try to use her. I was thinking that I would try to do another run and try to use characters I didn't use. So all three of the people in my bench / unused, obviously Azuki's case, try and keep her alive. I would try to use them and keep them alive and, see if they're any good. But as of right now, I cannot rank them, and therefore Lammy's there too. Next up, we have Louis. And she is an interesting unit as well. Just like Suisei and Noelle, she comes with a lot of con. 18 con. In fact, that's actually the most amongst the three that I mentioned. So absolutely monstrous con right there. And the aid, she's able to rescue almost everybody in the game. So she's very strong. Unfortunately for me, in my experience, because I have Noelle partnered with Flare, I never have the need for Louis because I don't really need more than one tank, right? At most, you probably want one tank as a main. Two if you really need to separate your groups. But in my experience through the game, you don't really need two tanks. One is good enough. For me, at least, using Suisei, for example, she's able to kill most enemies on her own, so therefore she acted like my second tank in most of my runs. Therefore I don't need Louis. Unfortunately, I just don't think No, it's first of all, I felt like it may be hard to train her, but I actually am wrong about that because she's actually really strong. Even for a level 10 knight who only has 12 strength, she actually has decent speed, and the defense is already high as hell. So very strong. She comes with drive defense, obviously great, adds to her adjacent units, great. She comes with natural cover, -3 damage taken when on terrain effects. The chapters we get her for in the early game are indoors, so it's kind of useless, but if she is outside on terrain effects, she will get that extra defense, which is great. I don't think it really applies because she already has the defense to tank hits, but overall it adds to her knightly defense, which is great. She also comes with the other skill, loyalty, which when within 2 spaces of a lord, minus 3 more damage and plus 15 hit. Now, that is the questionable skill because I don't know who counts as a lord. Obviously, Ame counts as a lord. Lapis counts probably as a lord because Lapis and Louis do go together. But then who else counts as a lord? I really don't know who else counts, unless you choose like maybe the rightful queen users like Ina or Luna, for example, because she's also a leader of the kingdom, or Pecora. But if that's the case, they're not going to be on the front lines, and therefore making that skill absolutely useless, in my opinion, unless other characters who are main to the story, like Reine or Botan, or Miko, they have a lot of conversations throughout the entire game. They are relevant. Do they count as lords? I don't think so. And so therefore making this skill quite useless. One of the reasons why I didn't want to use Louis. She also learns Fortress Defense and Armor March, which are also great defensive skills. She only comes with a Javelin and Sea Lances when we get her, but that's all she really needs because you can just give her the weapons in the first place. But unlike Noelle, contrary to her, she doesn't come with axes. Therefore, Louis is a one-trick pony, just lances all the way until she becomes a general. I don't deny that she can be useful, but in my opinion, she's not that great. But of course, alas, I didn't use her at all. Therefore, she's bench/unused. If I had to rank her, though, I would probably put her in the average category, if not above average. It really depends on how well her levels would go. Based on my brother, who loves Louis, he uses her mostly because he lost Noelle. She is actually proving to be one of his best units. In fact, she could be, in his opinion, great tier, but in my opinion, still lackluster and therefore a little bit under. So above average would probably be her maximum cap, because unlike Noelle, for example, she doesn't have a super class that I am aware of, therefore making her a little bit less, usable, but still very good nonetheless. Next up, we have Louis' partner in crime, her bodyguard per se, and then now we have Lapis. So Lapis is a level 1 catalyst. She is one of the main characters to the story, being one of the characters that drive the plot a little bit. And she comes with 1 leadership star. Obviously, that's whatever. But her biggest thing is she comes with Paragon, and at level 2, she does get Aptitude, which increases her growth rates. Therefore, making her one of the only characters in the game that can literally max out every single stat. Now, if you guys saw my Seiso run, you guys know that she cannot max out luck, which is very weird. It does cap out at 30. However, every other stat became max. Every other stat. That's insane. Making her literally the strongest character in the entire... Well, I take it back. Not this Lapis. Lapis in, Super Lapis, you can say, is actually the strongest character in the game. And you guys can see on the tier list, she is there. We will get to her towards the end, obviously. But as far as list Lapis is concerned, even then, she can still be one of your strongest units if she levels up, really good. Now, obviously, the hardest part is training her to be that good. She needs to be fed kills, yet alone fed, hits in the first place, which is tough to do, especially on Yabai. I don't deny that she is not the best. She only comes with E rank anima, which is only fire, which is terrible. She doesn't get any personal weapons. Her survivability is one shot for at least the first few levels. Not to mention, even after her first few levels, if you're playing Yabai difficulty, she's probably going to get doubled, yet alone killed in one shot or two for the first like 10 levels. She's very weak to start, and therefore making it very difficult to train her. But once she gets going, then she becomes one of your best characters for sure. At level 5, she learns Tone Fair as well as Corona at level 30. So, overall, if I'm being completely honest, I don't think it's worth to train her. Now, what happens if you don't train her, right? Does the other Laplace version automatically get those, strong stats? Or does she stay weak? That's the next question, right? Unfortunately, in my experience, when we get to the other Laplace, Super Laplace in this case, I can only base her base stats because of the fact that I did use this Laplace. So I don't know for sure what will contribute into that. I would have to play another whole run just to figure that out. But as of this recording, as of me playing through my experience of Seiso difficulty as well as Yabai, specifically taking Yabai into consideration, I cannot say Laplace is the best unit in any way, not this version at least, because she is difficult to train if you cannot feed her the kills, and on Yabai difficulty, it is going to take a long time to feed her those kills if you don't put in the effort. So I will literally put her in average. If you put in the time and effort, then good for you, right? She becomes one of your best characters. But before that, it's tough. It is tough. She can easily be great or even above average, but you have to put in the effort. It's just so much effort. The only, like I said, the only benefit is she has a leadership star and she has Paragon. Other than that, it's too difficult. Just average at best. That's her niche though, right? She becomes your best unit if you use her. But if you don't, then she's, she sucks. So I think having a niche specifically for her tier is where she needs to be. But that's just my opinion. Like I said, if she does get automatic base stats when she transforms into Super Laplace, then great. You don't use her. Don't use her at all. But if she doesn't get super strong base stats when she becomes Super Laplace, then there literally is no point to using her because she's too weak. Unless, like I said, in Seiso you can use her, no problem. You can trap archers and stuff like that. But in Yabai difficulty, I just don't see it happening. Even I had a lot of trouble trying to get her levels, and in the end, I couldn't use her as one of my main units because I just couldn't use her. She's just too slow, she's too weak, and as you guys saw, I struggled in Yabai, and she probably would die straight up. But that's just my opinion. Next up, we do start off with Outside of the Castle. For her chapter, we get Rushia. I don't know anything about Rushia personally, so I don't know anything about her personality, what kind of person, what kind of unit she should be. But she comes as a level 15 shaman, 40 HP with 14 defense and 15 resistance. So just like Risu, she comes as a tank, massive tank. She also has Aegis as well. Aegis? Sorry, Great Shield, even better. She comes with Great Shield, which negates all damage, by the way. It is skill activated, so it's not like she has the best percent activation, but it is very strong. She also comes with Malefic Aura, Wrathful Wall, and Summon. Now, unfortunately, her Summon is broken on the chapter that she comes in. I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing, or is that supposed to be, or is that's bugged. But she is able to summon starting on the next chapter, where we get KFP. So I would say it's probably just a bug, because there's nothing in the story that says otherwise, making her actually a very, very useful unit if you like using summons, right? The summons in general, even going into Sacred Stones, very useful skill to have for any unit. takes out the sacrifice that you have to put the fear of your units being in front and luring in enemies towards you. At least in this case, the summon could maybe do damage, or the summon just tanks it and, there's no threat of death. So very, very useful utility right there for a level 15 shaman who can transform right away. Base stat wise, not the best. Like I said, the only thing she really has going for her is her tankiness. Otherwise, her speed and luck are a little disappointing. Her magic is a little lackluster. Her con sucks for a dark magic user. Therefore, she will lose even more speed. So it's really bad. It's really, really bad. If I had to be honest, I would say I would try and put her in the benched/unused category. However, I do understand her gimmick, and therefore I did use her during the Gaiden, and I do think she has uses. Not to mention you can use her to summon Ollie, to get Ollie, therefore making her actually very useful. Not to mention it comes with her personal weapon, which is Necromancy, which is decently strong in its own right. So as a unit, Rushia can actually be good, if I'm being completely honest, especially with the Great Shield skill in her arsenal. Unfortunately, I don't know what else she can be used for. She does learn Glacies at level 20 and Barricade at 25, which, having no speed, the Barricade skill will be absolutely important for her. It's just a matter of whether or not she is good, right? Now, the other question is, because I didn't use her, does her summons get even better? I don't think they do. Even when I made her, I think I made her a summoner in my Seiso run, the summons didn't change weapons. They still had iron axes, therefore making them kind of useless. So I don't know for sure if their summons will be any good going forward. But as far as what I did see, I think she is a decent unit, and she does come with a niche, and that is the summons. There's only a few other characters in the game that can summon, Callie being one of them, and Risu if you made her a summoner. As far as anyone else, I don't think you can. Azuki, maybe if you made her into a shaman, and then I think she becomes a summoner as well. But other than that, I think Risha may be one of the only characters that can summon. Therefore, she has a niche, and I think that niche will put her in the niche/average tier. Like I said, I do feel bad. I don't want to keep adding characters to the bench/unused just because I didn't use them. I did use Rushia a tiny bit, and I think her utility is very useful if you can use those summons to your advantage, therefore making her have a specific niche. But other than that, I would categorize her as not used, but I will put her there for the sake of putting her somewhere else than benched. Unfortunately, if we're being completely honest though, we go on to the next character, Percora. I cannot say in good faith that I can put her any higher because I didn't use her. So I'm going to immediately put her in the bench and unused, but we will just talk about her. The biggest reason I didn't use her is she's a level 17 thief. And if you look at these stats, they scream terrible. 17 thief with only 17 speed. That's only a 1-to-1 ratio. Sure, yeah, she should probably max it out, but if you look at her compared to Mume, or even the other thief units, she sucks. Her survivability is really bad. 26 HP, 6 defense, and 3 resistance. 9 luck, oh god, terrible. She does have 2 leadership stars, which gives her a slight edge in that department, and her con being 9, she can wield most swords without being weighed down. The biggest thing about her is she has her personal skill, which is the Rabbit's Luck skill, which allows her to move again per luck percentage. So therefore, she can actually move twice in the same turn, but she does take 5 damage. But like I said, her luck being so low, obviously her luck is one of her better growth rate stats, but it's being so low, is it really even going to come into play? Even if it does come into play, am I even going to have her on the front? Like, I just don't think that's a thing, right? She also gets the Infiltrator skill, which if she's within 2 tiles, if within 2 tiles of 2 or more enemies, sorry, she has to be surrounded by enemies, she gains plus 3 damage and 15 hit. Well, that doesn't, why would you want to be surrounded by 2 or more enemies in the first place, right? With Percora, she's so weak, you probably wouldn't want that to happen. Therefore, she's probably gonna die. Yeah, I just don't see any real use for her. Therefore, that's the reason I didn't use her. Even with 2 leadership stars, she's just too frail. There's no reason to use her. At best, you would use her as a rogue if you lost your other thief units. But other than that, I cannot say in good faith that she is a good unit. If I had to categorize her, I would put her in bad right away. But because I never used her, I cannot put her there. Therefore, I put her in bench/unused. She is one of the few characters that I literally didn't touch because there's no reason to use her at all. But that's my opinion. Next up, we have Zeta. So in Zeta's case, she too, just like Reine, gets a stat boost in her strength, and therefore making her a very powerful unit in the later game if you get that stat boost. However, in the beginning, when you get her, she's just average. She is a level 1 rogue with 31 HP, which is pretty average for a thief unit. She has 12 con, which is pretty good. She won't do any real major captures, but she is very strong in that regard. 21 skill, 27 speed, which is impossible, by the way. It is impossible to have 27 speed at level 1 rogue in any Fire Emblem game, therefore making her a cheater. But she does have 16 luck and 9 defense, so that's okay. Zeta is one of the few characters in the early game that you get 6 skills. She has Watchful, Lock Touch, Assassinate, Pass, Infiltrator, and Shade. Watchful, the unit cannot be captured or stolen from. So automatically she's great for doing thief work, right? But as us as the player, we probably won't be stolen from in the first place, therefore it really doesn't matter. Not to mention, she doesn't have the stealing skill, by the way. As a rogue, she does not have steal. She does not have steal plus. Therefore, she cannot steal items. Therefore, making her actually a very lackluster rogue, if I'm being completely honest. She does have lock touch, so she automatically opens locks and stuff. She has the assassinate skill when initiating battle at range, or 1 range, sorry, in close combat. She gets +2 damage, and double attacks occur before the counter attack. So if she attacks someone and she can double, she'll attack twice first. Therefore, with the strength boost later in the game, she can kill units before they even get a chance to attack her, making her a very powerful unit. And again, she gets Pass, so she can go through enemies. Pass is also one of those skills in Fire Emblem that is kind of useless. Only in certain circumstances can it actually be a good skill to have on anybody, but for the most part, it is kind of lame. You really wouldn't want any unit to have it. She also has Infiltrator and then Shade. So overall, she has the skills for a thief, but in general, she's not great. In the end, even as a rogue, you probably want to use her as a fighter. Give her a killing edge, give her silver swords, things like that. She'll actually be a very strong unit. She comes with a Lance Reaver, killing edge, and elixir when you get her, as well as ace swords. So right off the bat, you can use her as a combat unit, and she is actually decently strong. Just as a sword unit with 12 strength, she's not the best damage dealer, but she will dodge and she won't get hit. She won't get killed very easily. As far as Seiso is concerned, and on Yabai, there is a little bit more in question about it, but again, her assassinate skill allows her to kill first, if possible, than not. So that makes her a little bit more viable. Therefore, I will put her in the above average because she can be very good. She can be a very strong unit. As far as the thief units are concerned, she technically can be your strongest one, actually. Again, the only backside or downside is the fact that she can't steal items, but everything else as a thief, she can do. Therefore, making her the strongest thief possible, which is not great, but, for the unit type, it's good. It's good enough. And I think that's all you really need. So next up we have Muna. and she is also on the same chapter as Rushia and Picora and Zeta. She comes towards the end of the chapter. She is a level 15 Cavalier. Look at that smile. She looks like, oh yeah, I'm smug. She is an absolutely powerful Cavalier, without a doubt. Not only does she come with a leadership star, but she also has decent strength, decent skill, speed, luck, defense, and she has 13 con, allowing her to use most swords and lances from the get-go. She also comes with C in both, therefore the max. And then when you transform her, I think she became B in each, if not A, automatically. So, very useful. And she comes as a level 15 Cavalier. You can transform her right away with one of the Holo Emblems that you have. Or, you can wait until the next chapter on KFP, give her literally, 5, 6, 7 kills, boom, level 20. Right off the bat. That's amazing. And she is already very powerful in her own right. She does come with a Horse Slayer, Steel Sword, Seiso, and she brings you a coffee. Yeah, absolutely powerful unit. Speed is obviously her best stat, which is great. I think her being able to double and not get doubled definitely helps her survivability. Not to mention she already has luck to negate crits, defense to survive physical combat, and 6 resistance is kind of whatever, that's typical. But overall, very strong. She also learns Nullify at level 20, which is one of the best skills in the game, obviously. And then at level 30, Keep Up. She comes with Luna, Kanto, and Rally Resistance. The Rally Resistance alone is very useful. Sadly, though, she does not learn Kanto Plus, even as a Paladin, therefore making her Rally Resistance a little bit more dangerous, because then she would have to be in the back in order to stay out of danger. But on the front lines, you want her fighting, so you can't really use the Rally Resistance. So it's a give and take. But overall, you want her using Muna's Luna to do some massive damage to some of your enemies. That is where I think Muna shines, is that she can deal a lot of damage, if not double most enemies, therefore dealing massive damage in that regard. Me personally, I gave her swords for the most part, but I do think lances are also just as viable for sure. She is a very powerful unit. I think overall her assets are way better than Subaru's. Again, you have to train Subaru to get to where Muna is. The only difference is Subaru already comes with a level 20, sorry, not level 20, a 20 capped stat, which is skill, which Muna is lacking in. That is the only drawback. However, I think skill is lackluster. You don't really need skill as long as you have the right weapons for the job, and therefore Muna's stats being this high and throughout her entire stat bars, I think she is the much better unit in my opinion. Now again, she is a Paladin unit, therefore making her not the best unit in the game by any means. But overall, she is a very good unit. I think, in my opinion, if you had to choose between the two, I would say Muna's probably better. But it's up to your preference, of course. Heck, use both. Use both Muna and Subaru, but in my opinion, I think Muna's pretty good. Either way, she is also in the above average category next to Subaru, because there's no real right answer, right? Paladins are paladins. They are both good, they're balanced, they're decent, but they're not going to get you to the end. They're not going to be with you in the end game unless you make them the best unit you possibly can. But again, for both in consideration, you can give them both master proofs. They can become master knights, and I think, like I said, if considering Matsuri did it in my Seiso run, they will learn the Rally Spectrum skill, therefore making them very, very viable units. I wonder what happens if Muna gets the Rally Spectrum skill with her Rally Resistance and she keeps both. Does it double activate, or does it activate only once? I don't know. Does she even get Rally Spectrum? That's the question, right? So if they do, obviously that makes them greater units. If they don't, then they're just balanced units. So either way, above average probably should be used in any of your runs, but if you don't, it's not like it's going to hurt you. But I personally think above average is a pretty good fit for her. I do prefer her over Subaru in general. The only thing I really have to say about Muna is I didn't get any supports, and I don't think she does have actual supports that she can obtain with anybody, unless I was using the wrong characters. Like I know, like for example, if she probably has a support with Bakura, but I don't even know if she even does, because why would I even use Bakura? Like I wouldn't know. So if she does have actual A support with somebody, let me know in the comment section if you guys got it, because I don't think she does. But I could be wrong. Maybe she does, and maybe it's powerful. Who knows? But that is something for me to find out in the future. Next up, we do have Ollie. Again, Ollie is one of those characters that... I have an opinion about Ollie. If you guys saw my Seiso run, you guys know what my opinion is. I cannot say in good faith that Ollie is a good unit. She has a specific niche, and that is being a tank. However, does that actually give her levels? I don't know. I didn't actually use her. She is a special case in my opinion. You were required to use her in the Gaiden chapter that she's in. Therefore, she is the reason why, spoilers, I lost my Seiso run, and therefore causing me to not officially finish it Ironman run. I love her growth rates as far as the unit style, right? She has a specific niche, and that is being a tank. She gets luck, she gets defense and resistance and HP. And she comes with 50 HP as a level 13, with Provoke, Counter, Devil's Whim, Miracle, and Bracing Stance? Yeah, Bracing Stance. So, she has everything going for her to keep her alive, as well as deal damage to your opponents. But me personally, that's just too risky of a unit. I mean, if you really want to keep Ollie alive, you may end up just killing yourself, just like I did. As my run demonstrated, killing yourself with a crit does not activate Miracle. You do not apply to yourself. Therefore, Ollie can literally suicide at any given point, which is very sad. I'm a little disappointed in that, because as a Hololive member, I do love Ollie. She is one of the few members outside of EN that I do actually watch from time to time. I do love Ollie. She's absolutely hilarious, and I love her for that. But in the game, I cannot say in good faith that she's a good unit. I feel she's disrespected just a little bit in this regard. I do like the creativity by Hatsuru to make her a revenant, but I personally just don't see her as a good unit. I personally had to put her in bad, even below niche, because if she kills herself, you kill yourself. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. Miracle literally will not activate to save you, therefore she will die. If you go into the Gaiden chapter like I did, she can easily die to any of those enemies. You know, it's hard to train her up, in my opinion. At least I think it would be hard, because she can't get EXP if she counters from range. It has to be close range, and then at the close range chance that she can die, not only does she curse your enemies to hit themselves, you can get cursed too. Which obviously, with her luck being so high, she can negate that Devil's Whim after so many levels, but even then, it's still risky business, and I think it's just not worth the risk, nor the time. I don't even know how much EXP she can actually obtain, so probably not the best. But personal bias, because she ended my run, I do have to put her in bad. The risk is not worth the reward for units, unfortunately. But if I had to put her higher, it'd be in the niche section, just because, you know, that is her gimmick, right? She has a specific unit style, and therefore that's where you would put her. But in my opinion, she's bad. One of the units that I honestly, you can't use. You shouldn't use it, or you shouldn't use her, and therefore she's just there. She's just there to hold stuff for you. I don't know. But in my opinion, I cannot use Ollie, and I will not use Ollie, even though I love her as a member of Hololive. But you know who I do love is our next character here, and that is, where is she? I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, Kiara! I am KFP. She is my Oshi, and I am so sad that she died in my Yabai run because there is nothing I could have done to save her. Now, that being said, she was absolutely a beast of a character in my Seiso run. She is, without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the most important characters for any run, Seiso or Yabai otherwise. She comes with Rally Spectrum. She is a level 5 hero who comes with Fury, giving her an edge in strength, speed, defense, and resistance, as well as having 47 HP. Very, very powerful unit, if I do say so myself. Now, she does come with Blue Flame as well, which, whatever, you can get rid of the Blue Flame, I think, so that doesn't matter. I think you can. But she also comes with Reincarnation, which I don't even know if that skill is even possible to be used, because my Kiara didn't die in my Seiso run. And then when she died in my Yabai run, she was a green unit, so it probably didn't activate. Or if it is a bug skill, it will never activate. I don't know. She is also one of the best units in the game because of her con being 18. Again, the only other person who had 18 at this point is Louis. But the only bad part about Kiara is she has 0% growth rate in skill. So the only way you can get skill is either the skill seal, which plus 10, or the archive books, which giving plus 4, that's actually quite a bit. So it wouldn't be that hard to give her stat boosters and she'd be one of your best units out there in the field. Now obviously the 5 Lux sucks, but she makes up for it with her speed and defenses. And then of course the main important thing is she has Rally Spectrum. That is literally her gimmick. Honestly, you don't even need to use her as a combat unit. You can literally use her as a support, Rally Spectrum every single turn, and giving plus 7 stats to everybody in range. Not to mention you can pair her up with Watame or Azuki and give units 3 Rally Spectrums in one turn. Obviously it does not stack. Rally Spectrum does not stack with Rally Spectrum, but you can use it in 3 separate locations in a single turn, giving all of your units the capability to just be tanks, powerhouses, and being able to kill everything on the map. So it is, in my opinion, that she is absolutely one of the best characters in the game, regardless if you think so or not. I think she is a must-use unit. She has to be in your lineup if you get her. If you don't get her, then that sucks for you, because if you're like me and I lost her on the first turn or second turn, then that sucks. But in my opinion, she is crucial to anyone's Yabai run if you can get her to survive that initial KFP attack. Obviously you can't do anything about it, but she can help herself, obviously. If she can, then she is absolutely required for the Yabai run. At level 30, she also learns Arcane Blade, which it's kind of whatever. You don't really need Arcane Blade anyways. For those who don't know, Arcane Blade, where is it actually? I actually don't have it here. Oh, that's weird. I actually don't have it here in my notes, which is kind of funny because it's right there. Okay, well, actually I should have it somewhere. Hold on a second. Oh, Arcane Blade. When initiating battle at one range, adds 3 plus magic divided by 2 to hit and crit. So again, it's not the best skill because it only adds to hit and crit. Hit obviously for the skill because she's lacking skill, but crit, it's whatever. She doesn't really need to be fighting. Like I said, Rally Spectrum is the most important thing. She comes with B swords and B axes right away as a level 5 hero, which is great. She can easily use some of the better weapons in the game. She also comes with a brave sword, a hand axe, an elixir, and the hoplite guard, which the hoplite guard in my opinion is bugged. It never activated when I used it, therefore making it a completely useless item. But the brave sword is nice. I believe that is the only brave sword we actually obtain. I think we only have 2 other chances, or a few chances in the game to get brave swords, and you have to capture them. So you don't get a brave sword. Kiara gives it to you if you can recruit her. But yes, I would argue that Kiara is S tier. She has to be in your lineup every time you do Ironman runs in general, right? You have to use her. She is so vital to Ironman runs that why would you use anyone else? Why use a different niche character like Reine, Flare, Risu, you know, their rally skills don't even compare to Kiara's. Kiara is a must-use, not to mention, like I said, Kiara comes with a Fury skill, making her automatically stronger than all those characters, to be honest, from the get-go. And with 18 con, she can use any weapon and capture if you need her to. So, oh, and she has 17 so even on top of that, she can rescue some characters too. Kiara, best unit in the game, maybe, obviously not best unit, but one of the best units in the game, in my opinion. And I am so happy that I am KFP, because oh my god, my Oshi is absolutely powerful. Unfortunately, she needs to survive her chapter. Even in Seiso, she can actually die from the get-go, which, if you're that unlucky, that sucks for you. Just like I was unlucky in my Yabai. In fact, I think in the Seiso run, I think she almost died too. So, it is possible. It's just up to RNG, right? True RNG. But if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comment section down below. If you guys disagree with me, but I think Kiara is without a doubt one of the best units in the game, and therefore should always be in your lineup. Next up, we have Matsuri. She starts as a level 1 recruit. She is one of those recruit type units that you can train up from the ground up, just like Lapis, right? Just like Nene as well, except in Nene's case, she doesn't get Aptitude or Paragon. Matsuri alone, she already gets EXP much faster, so that's good for her. Unlike Lapis, she does have a little bit of an edge as far as stats. She's not as weak, so right away she can use some weapons and, you know, get that stat boost. She comes with Sea Lances as a level 1 recruit. That in itself is absolutely insane, because that means she can use killer weapons if she wanted to, yet alone some of the other stuff that can easily get her the hits in as well as damage, and just doing damage she'll get a lot of EXP. In my opinion, she could be at least the best unit in the game as well. Now, as far as getting the best stats in the game like Lapis can, I don't think she can get that high, but she can get into the 30s, you know, easily if you use her. Now, the question is, if you make her a Master Knight, just like Muna and Subaru, you can make her a Paladin as well as a Great Knight as well. But it's after that. She does get a Gaiden where if you use her enough, she can transform into a Master Knight automatically per Luna's promotion. In my Yabai run, I did not get that promotion. It was mostly a test to see if I can... If mine was a Great Knight to that point, which she was, a level 3 Great Knight, would I automatically get that promotion because I did use her? No. You apparently need to get the EXP on that chapter in order to make her a Master Knight. Therefore, you probably want to make Matsuri a Cavalier and then get the kills on that chapter to get her a few levels, therefore getting her the promotion to Master Knight automatically. And with the Aptitude skill, she should be able to increase her stats enough that she'll be a very viable character throughout the rest of the game regardless. If you guys watch my Seiso run, I struggled to get her kills because she was so weak. As a recruit at level 10, she didn't level up to the best of her ability, because at level 10 recruit she promoted to a Master Knight, therefore giving her kind of like, if you were to transform a level 15 Cavalier into a Paladin kind of stats, that's kind of what she came with, and therefore making her a little bit weaker than any other unit I had. Even with the Aptitude skill, it took me a long time to get up to par just because I didn't use her. So it's a hit or miss for me. But if you do use her from the get-go and you don't care about the promotion to Master Knight for free and you use a Master Proof instead, hands down, she could be one of your best units, if not one of the strongest in the game outside of Lapis. She's just that good. She does have the Aptitude. She comes with Cultured as well, so she can move again if she's next to Nice Thigh's character, which gives her double utility, because not only will she eventually learn the Rally Spectrum skill as a Master Knight, but she can move again and attack again twice. And as a Master Knight, she can get staves, so she can heal too if you need an extra healer of some kind. Level 10 she gains Knight Aspirant and level 15 Ideology, so again, just adding to her utility. She comes with an Iron Lance, Javelin, and Vulnerary, so standard recruit weapons, so nothing special. But like I said, her gimmick is that she can become one of the strongest units in the game if you use her. If you don't use her, and you only use her on the Gaiden chapter, in a Seiso run, she is still viable. In a Yabai, I just don't think so. Therefore, I have to positively, okay, this is based on my experience, I say you have to use her. She is a must-use type unit. If used properly and gets the Master Knight promotion, I have to put her either above average or great, right? Depends on if you get that promotion. Even as a regular unit, if you just use her regularly and you don't get that Master Knight promotion, take a look at my Great Knight Matsuri in my Yabai run. She was actually very powerful. Without a doubt, she can tank every hit possible. So making her literally, I don't know, at that point my best unit actually probably in my entire arsenal, if I'm being completely fair. So if I really had to put her somewhere, she has to be great. Just like for example, like Amelia in Sacred Stones, if she levels properly, she can become one of the best units in the game. I think the same goes for Matsuri here. She can absolutely be the best character in the game besides Lapis if trained properly, and or just in general. The aptitude skill is so powerful that it just makes them that good. Contrary to Lapis though, Lapis has a super version, therefore I don't know if this Lapis can be higher, but in Matsuri's case, she is her own unit, she is absolutely the best unit you can possibly ask for if trained up. And again, even though she comes with really, really low bases for a recruit as well, contrary to Lapis, she can actually hit things, and you can set up the kills on the chapter you get her. You can get her to level 10. I got her to level 10 in Yabai, therefore you can too. It's very easy in Seiso, therefore it should be a no-brainer. She should be used every single time. I really don't see any downside to not using her. Sorry, don't say a downside to using her in the first place. She should use every time. It should be easy enough to get her kills as well, so that's my opinion. Next up, we do have Shion. She is on the same chapter as well. She is an interesting case. So she is also a scholar, just like Risu. Basically a level 15 mage when you get her. Again, what is with the mages and having some decent defense? My goodness. At base, she has low 15. She has 13 defense and 13 luck with 18 resistance. 14 speed's good enough to probably not be doubled in Seiso. Yabai might be a little bit more questionable. Skill is okay. Magic is good. But 8 con sucks. Again, she is one of those characters that, she comes with dark and anima. She apparently has a background story with Choco. I think it was Choco, right? They have a support together. And Choco is disappointed that she used dark magic instead of sticking to anima. And so therefore, that's why her anima is much weaker. Therefore, making her more of a dark mage than a fire mage, that is, to me, is a mistake, just because of the fact that her con is so low, so you probably want to switch over as soon as possible. She doesn't get anything special either. She only comes with a Flux, Fire, and Seiso, so very average character, if I'm being completely honest. And again, another character that comes with Corrosion, one of the most useless skills in the game. She also has Silent Pride and Glacies. Silent Pride, gain 2 damage and take -2 damage for 20% below max HP. 20%'s not that much, so yeah, it really isn't that great of a skill, if I'm being completely honest. And then add on Corrosion, you want to get rid of that as soon as possible, if she can get rid of it. I actually don't know. Me personally, I didn't really use Shion at all. To be fair, she should go into the Banished Sash unused, but because she does get a Gaiden chapter, you can immediately, as a level 15 scholar, you can actually immediately make her into a summoner making that guiding chapter a little bit easier on you. Because you don't need to use Shion in the game, right? At this point, you should have enough characters to pick and choose other characters to use over her. But if you did lose people and you need a mage unit who actually has decent stats, Shion is right up there. Based on her stats, based on her utilities, I would honestly say she's average, actually. Maybe even above average if you use her. But as far as her join rate, you really don't need her. Therefore, her best asset would be making her a summoner and having her summon to get away with, decoys. Partner her up with Rushia at the same time. All of a sudden, you got maybe, I think you can have 2 summons on the field then, right? And maybe even partner her up with, in the end game with Callie, 3 summons, perhaps? That's huge, actually. Or even Risu, right? 4 summoners. Oh my goodness. Is that even possible? I actually don't know. But if it is, that's huge. That is really huge to have that many summons. You basically got like 4 other allies in the end game to be decoys and or just maybe, who knows, maybe they'll be really powerful when your characters are much higher level. So as much as I would say she should be in the bench / unused, I am actually going to rank her because she does have uses if you immediately use her in that guidance chapter as a summoner, and she will keep your characters alive for the most part if you use her. Therefore, she has a niche as a summoner, and she can be average. As far as her stats are concerned, she is not bad. She is absolutely decent. If you use her and she levels those stats up even a couple levels as a level 20, absolutely phenomenal. I think they look great at base, and then of course she'll get a few promo bonuses. Fantastic. So right off the bat, I think Shion's a great unit. Just get rid of that corrosion skill as soon as possible though, because like I said, if she's going to be attacking things, she'll probably do chip damage, so you probably don't want her corroding the weapons that you may have a chance to capture in the first place, yet alone the corrosion skill being a skill in the first place. It just shouldn't be. Corrosion is just terrible. So in my opinion, very average. I never used her, but who knows? She could actually be above average if used properly and levels up good. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, like I said, I'll probably have to go through my units another time, do another playthrough, maybe use Shion this time. Maybe she is good. Unfortunately, in Shion's case, another member of Hololive I never really watched, and it's too bad. I will never actually be able to watch her since she graduated, but all in all, I think she's a pretty average unit with a niche, and therefore she is in the middle tier, and who knows, maybe she will be much better in the future, but for now that's where she will go. So that's actually going to do it for this video. This is part 1 because this is just taking too much time. I didn't even realize how much time I would spend on these things. If I'm being completely honest, it's going way longer. I have a lot to say, but I also want you guys to know the details of what I think about each character, as well as the details of their characters, their weapons, their items, their stats, things that you probably didn't consider or you may have considered, and that's why we may have different opinions. Maybe you guys think some units are better, maybe you guys don't think some units are better. Like, for all I know, maybe you guys think Polka isn't really S tier. Maybe Noelle doesn't count because she gets the super commander Noelle. Or maybe you guys don't think Kiara is S tier because the rally spectrum's not all that great. Yes, you can do the game without it, but it makes it so much easier. I don't see why you wouldn't want it, Or even going into the greats. So far, we've only had 3. Should Lapis be up there? Perhaps. Maybe even Ame, right? Maybe she gets her promo bonuses, and her, she levels up decent. But in my experience, she didn't. Let me know in the comment section for this video if you guys agree or disagree. Hit the like button if you like the video. Comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Seiso run, my Yabai run if you haven't already as well. This is a really fun game. If you guys have not played it yet, and you guys are just watching all this stuff, getting all the details, go play the game. It's so much fun. I do not deny that it can be frustrating at times and has some broken stuff in it, but oh my god, it is such a fun game. You guys have to play it. Go give it a try. and then come back and see if your opinions match with mine, or if they differ. Let me know in the comments section everything you guys have to say, because I am so curious to know. I already have some followers who have subscribed to the channel just because I played Holo Emblem. I am curious to know if you guys agree or disagree with my opinions about these characters thus far. Stay tuned for part 2, that will be coming up next. I've done about half the roster, so you know, we'll get into the next half in the next video. Again, my throat is dying. I am talking so much for this video already. There's so much to say, and again, this is just me and my experience. I've only done one whole playthrough in Seiso difficulty. Once, okay? And then Yabai difficulty about, what, halfway? I don't even know everything about the game. I don't know every support, or every weapon, guidance, secret, everything. So, you know, your opinions will differ from mine for the most part. But I want to know, do you guys agree with anything I had to say with these characters? Because I think, as someone who plays Fire Emblem, I think some of these characters were made phenomenally. Like, oh my god, like, I just made that word up, by the way. Fantastically. They were made absolutely amazing. I can't say more. Some of these characters were just absolutely bomb. I just love them so much. I love Suisei, I love Fauna, I love Kiara, oh my god, I love Polka, Noelle. You know, I love those top tier characters. I love the gimmick with Bay. As frustrating as it can be sometimes, I love it. I love Watame as a bard. It fits her perfectly. Zeta, Muna, hell, even Rene, her gimmick as well as an introductory character, and then she gets a sudden boost. She's not just a Jagan. Oh my god, like, all these things combined just adds in together. It's just so much fun, so much to explore. No run is really the same either. Like, look at the people I've lost, use the people I haven't used. Anything can change at any time. My run differs from my brother's run as well. I haven't really got a chance to watch anyone else play, but oh my god, no run can ever be the same with this many characters and this many different changes that you can use. It's just incredible. So again, if you guys have not played, go play. Go tell me, guys, how you guys played it, and stay tuned for the second part. I will get to that as soon as possible. But until then, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.